This is an audio test. The audio test. If you can hear me in chat, the password is Rant.
Zwei Minuten. Eine Minute.
And now, live from the Man Cave, Studio B, deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Tuesday night, stepping up or stepping down rant, with your co-hosts, Kelli Uphaus, Mr. Coffee, our good friend Patrick Acton's in the house, yours truly, Larry Parsons, and our ever-present earwig, the real Tim Allen, behind the scenes.
Yep, I'm here.
This is My Brain, the greatest show on earth. And now, your host, the world-famous Jeremy Scott Gibbs. He's a legend in his own mind, folks. Several liberals were outraged by Larry during this announcement. So it's just a normal Tuesday night in Livingston County.
Oh, that's great. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Table.
I think everybody now has got the line. Their microphones are open.
Everybody.
Yeah, I got my son.
Maybe you turn your volume up, bro.
Everybody.
Bro.
My
Bro.
phone's ringing in my office because somebody doesn't know I do a live show.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's
There you
me
are.
in my office.
Maybe you turn yourself up, Larry.
Bro.
Bro,
You're unmuted.
you're unmuted. Okay. Let's see here. We're getting ready for the show, man. Wait, the show's already going. Welcome everybody out there in what do we got to call the land out there?
La La Land,
La La Land?
I don't know.
Brainland.
Brainland?
Wonderland.
We could make it our own. Call it Brainland.
It's
Those
warm-
if you're
warm-
watching this show, you're certainly in the land of the brain.
Some derivative of the metaverse.
That would be what it is.
One of the
Time to rant. I'm already seeing a number
rant.
of people in there.
the rant.
Better than the brainless, because there's plenty of brainless
Oh,
in
yeah.
this country right now.
Yeah, that is very true.
I am telling my child, my daughter was like, I'm so afraid of the zombie apocalypse because, TV. And I was
Right.
like, honey, we're in it.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
in it. And she
Right.
goes, what? And I was like, think about it. Think about all the people around you that just go with the narrative. They don't question anything.
Can I
They
get
just-
a bath salt?
Yep. Everything's just, and I've got to have my pottery barn. And
Yeah.
we're in the land
And my,
of the Walking Dead.
What's that drink with the little bobbing little circle berry things in it? The little
You lost me on that one.
no, the little
Bobbing circle.
Bobbing circle.
little bobbing little circular flavored things in it. Somebody in chat knows.
Somebody in chat knows. Stepping up or stepping down today is pretty
What's that called?
profound given amount of people stepping up, amount of people stepping down.
Yeah.
It's quite
A roller
interesting.
coaster.
And even with this, the former vice president was able to step up the big stairs to get on the big plane today.
No, okay.
Yeah, but we didn't hear.
Did she?
You know
fall
what?
off?
I don't know, but
Is it boba? or something?
he was gone for a week after the big boy speech.
Do you mean a mask or do you mean like a mask?
By the way,
Yeah.
if you hear that in the
I'm gonna go
background chat,
conspiracy theory right
that
now.
sound is a storm going over.
Yeah, I don't know if Chad can hear it.
Oh, we
but
can.
right here. Okay.
Yeah, it is a torrential
'cause-
downpour going over the studio.
And
right now.
you know what? I got to say this at the top of the show. Have the weather people become that inept?
Yeah.
We used to actually be able to rely on the weather. And I'm talking about, I don't tune into a local weather channel.
Yeah.
I look it up on my phone. Look at my phone says. Do you know what township? Partly cloudy or partly sunny, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I watch it because I work outside.
Yeah.
The only job where you can be wrong half the time and still get paid.
Still get paid well.
Educated guessers who can be wrong and just go off. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Well, welcome to the show, everybody out there. I know Mr. Coffee's taking care of you guys, making sure you
We got chatters.
you chatters know what's up. Coffee's going to be a little better on chat from now on. I had to talk with him off air
What the fuck you talking about?
about getting letting things get a little out of hand.
Oh,
To the
boy.
point that I
You
get-
wanna
get
take,
upset.
You want to take the conversation
Yeah.
there and rewind some tapes?
So let's hey, I have
We could
4 regular sized Di Serono bottles right there at the end of the table, just if I need them. Empty ones, empty
I
ones.
should have brought.
If anybody in the chat wants to drive over to the man cave, that would imply that you already know where it's at because I'm going to put our address out there. I'll take a bottle tonight. Dinner recap. Mr. Coffee brought Schwenkbratens
Schwank, bro.
over here with a fresh brochen buns.
The countdown was in German in honor
That's
of
yeah.
the
same.
And they were good. They were toasty.
Patrick's
They
first time on that.
I've never had one before. And I've
So-
eaten a lot of German food in my time.
I've looked it up before. I couldn't remember how to spell Swankbraten to put it in our notes and everything like that. I type in Schwank and then spaced it with Braten, and I got 15. The first 15 things were for Hillary Schwank. I was like, that's not even the right spelling for her name, and yet I got Schwank, and I was like, what the hell?
That's
Pat,
funny.
Coffee, what does Schwankbraten mean? Or do we
well,
do we need
the
to look it up?
part I know is swinging, and I think it's beef pork, whatever. It's a
Swinging
fucking
pork?
pork chop that's marinated for like a week.
And it's
So
the pork
Super
chop
tender.
marinated for a week,
They're
and
swinging pigs.
basically, those were big pork loin. I cut it in slices, but
yeah,
you beat them up and then let them soak. And it took a lot of
How long did you marinate those?
recipes to find this one. And this recipe happened to come from an Air Force lady captain who put it on GermanRecipes.com. And she was in Germany and she got that. Because I had gone through a bunch before I got to this one. And
You said nobody would give you one. They were like
oh,
the
this is
family
way back in
secret.
there. Oh,
They were being
butchers,
selfish.
no, that's,
Coffee.
they're- Pardon me?
How long did these marinate? Did you extend
These
them?
7 days, yeah.
Nice.
Usually it's
what's the
supposed to be 4 days.
minimum
So
is 4?
Well, 4, but I like these are really, really,
Oh, yeah.
And then,
really
and
good.
then and then the potatoes surprised me. The perfect combination. Those potatoes
That's
surprised me.
I left it in a can, but it's
Yeah.
the closest
was a-
taste in that I ate.
A
over there
vinegary,
all the time.
like I guess a kraut, a sauerkraut would have went with it.
That could have gone with. But all I got to say is that these were very schwank.
They were
Yeah.
schwank. They were quite schwanky.
Well, would it be able to make one of your like impromptu parties?
I was just gonna bring
No,
that
I'm
up.
never gonna
A
forget
schwanky
it.
party.
He's gonna keep hammering at it.
I'm just wondering if it would look good next to the big things of lamb and lobster tail. and
I was
such.
thinking now where they're eating
Schwanky Bratens.
people things hiding in the bushes.
Yeah, condoms laying around. Oh, can we
Kelly's getting
get-
some love over there.
Studebaker
Studebaker
giving
says
hi,
hi,
Kelly.
Hi,
Kelly.
Studebaker.
I had a quick question for chat just on that drink. If anybody knows what those like bobas or whatever they're called, Kelly, have you heard of these? It's like you can get them at a.
I don't drink eyeballs.
What are they called?
I think it's called boba.
Yeah, the bobas. They're
Yeah.
funky little floaty
You
flavor
want
things in it.
to
That
watch
good,
me
huh?
throw up? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No,
it's a texture thing.
It is.
Audio
Yeah.
check.
Mm-mm.
All right, audio's working good today. We had issues.
No, lapel 4 is down. Anyone on that?
Am I lapel for?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Lapel for
I'm not seeing any
Larry.
levels. Larry, you
Is
on?
your pack on?
Is my pack?
Nope.
on?
Nope.
And it's not on.
Nope. Got nothing on
You're
it.
off.
Your pack's not on. Yeah, Larry's on 4 because I put Kelly in the middle, and Kelly,
Sure.
her body energy
Sure.
does not affect that particular lapel mic. My body, if I put
Yeah.
that thing on, it's just noise the whole time, no
EM
matter where I put
frequencies.
I
it.
don't know how to. I can
Outside yours.
That's
take that
because
differently.
she's not full of crap.
You know, I can take that as an insult or a compliment.
or it could be
Depends
because-
how you raise it.
Could
the
be because
sentences.
she's not Polish.
I don't know.
I'm Irish.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
worse.
and that and that,
I know.
and that'll get you slapped just that heritage alone. No, I used to. It took me a long time to find wristwatches and a couple other devices that did not react to me. I would kill swatches. Remember when swatches were big?
Yeah.
Swatch
The
watches.
kids always wanted to have a swatch. Speaking of
The digital
Schwank
watches.
and I would kill those watches within a month. The crystal would be like fried. They're like, "What did you do to this?" Because there's no water damage inside of it.
I never wore watches.
And they would go, "What?" I'd take them in. You know, they're under warranty for like 6 months after you buy them, and I'd take it in. I go, "It quit working," and they'd go to check the battery, and they'd go to do the thing like that, and I would go, "What's the deal?" And come to find out, it was just my chemistry. I'll turn copper. You know,
Mhm.
copper. I'll put a copper ring on me. By the end of the day, it's turning green.
Patina.
Yeah.
Right.
I read an article that said that electronic watches and these iPhone iWatches and all that,
Yeah.
they're bad for you. They're bad for your health.
Yeah.
They
I-
really
What
are.
are? I'm sorry, I missed it.
The
Electronic
electronic
watch.
watches. I tried a Fitbit, the Garmin, and the Samsung watch, and they all burned me. All of them burned my skin, like
Now,
within
see-
a month.
I've had a Samsung Gear 3 wrist, the digital watch. Hell, it's got to be 5 years old now. I've never had a problem with it.
Oh, they burned me all.
I've
of
never
them.
had a problem with that, and it's such a surprise to me because I got to go through things. I have 2 different guitar, wireless guitar systems that I tried. I can't use a wireless guitar system because the minute I turn and my body's between the receiver and the pack,
You're not a conduit.
it just fuzzes out.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what? And I give it to somebody else and they're playing just fine and moving around and dancing and they turn around and do not. And I go, so I gotta like watch because I'll just keep turning the same way, like
our buddy
Zoolander.
Tony.
I keep going to the left,
Do you like this?
Like she
and it
said,
winds up my cord.
You're
Our
just
buddy
full of
Tony.
shits. What
You're not I didn't say
Tony
you
came
said
down the one
that.
time, walked the whole room with the wireless.
Yeah, Tony's
With the guitar.
and what
No
Tony's
effect.
is that's because he has one of the latest frequencies
does he?
that's in a different band.
No. I'm down here looking the other way. I'm not over there. I'm down here. I'm looking at you.
I'm looking at the control.
So
board,
you got to look to
My bad.
look to Coffee's crotch, and you'll be looking at me.
Speaking of the
I'm in
political
Coffee's
environment today, here's an AT-AT out there just pooping out
Oh yeah,
stormtroopers.
AT&T. I'm wearing the who I'm voting for shirt.
Yeah, you're voting for the convicted felon.
Oh, I see that.
Nice. Let's get into
the about to be vindicated felon.
you're
Yep.
about to be vindicated completely.
The bullet dodger.
The bullet dodger. Let's play that right now. Is it ready or is it not
Oh
ready?
shoot, I sent it to you.
Here's
I
Uh,
didn't pull it over.
let me. Well, all right, then
One,
I'll wait.
two,
Let's do
three.
disclaimers and then we'll do that.
Give me the.
So we good on dinner. Coffee.
yes,
You brought the swanky Broughton's,
yes, sir. Mhm.
but and Patrick brought his signature salad,
Oh, yeah.
and you brought 2 cans of German potato
You
salad.
wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know they were you wouldn't even know they're on the shelf, and those
Hey,
are the
you know
best
what? My
ones.
mushrooms come out of a can
Yeah.
before I cook them up.
These are
You know? Nothing wrong with canned.
They're
There's-
regular
Close it.
potatoes when they put them in there. So why
exactly.
wouldn't they
Yeah,
be
exactly.
regular potatoes when you pull them out?
just kind of the taste, however they do it.
Anyways,
Vinegar. Lots
would
of
you
vinegar.
would you like to give your rating on the food tonight?
Oh, I had to fucking give it a 5. I paid for it. I fed it to myself. It was good. 5. That's the first 5 I've given in anybody. So I'm a 5.
That was like the best German food I've had since I left Germany.
You know what? I will concur his 5 because I cooked it on the skillet. Therefore, I get equal
No, it was
credit
cooked.
with that.
I was freaking out because you're fucking around on your computer down there.
He
and
comes
you
out there. He's
left
like, I think it's time to take them off. I had a plate in my hand walking out there.
Just right when it came out, and they're done perfectly. I
Yeah, but
flipped them over and I go, oh, that's
I will add this though. You usually give the salad a 5, but today it probably slips to maybe a 2 or 2
No,
and a half.
that's why we got the whole dinner to a 5.
Oh, okay.
Would have just been a 4.9.
What was your drawback on the signature salad?
Because it was late. I mean, I really got ripped because I said, well, but Kelly's always late. I mean, so,
Yeah.
She gets away with it though.
it's
Yeah.
just because she's cute, right?
Actually, to be totally honest, Kelly was early today
She was.
because she
This
usually walks in
show,
at 8.
Believe it or
Yeah.
not, was
She
the-
walked in at 7:40.
I don't know. I had time.
this
I
show,
got
believe it or
burned.
not, is the earliest show since I've sat in here.
Yeah.
When it started, they even complimented like, holy smokes.
We started on time.
Yeah.
You did.
Kelly
You
showed
were
up early
called
enough.
Earliest.
I had to change
Yeah.
the
Like,
conversation. We were talking about that one time. She told us about that one thing.
Hey,
About that one thing
hey,
with
you will never speak
yeah.
of that again. Ever.
oh, lots of great people in there. Look at all
Shared
these
a
guys.
secret.
JoJo's in there.
I don't know.
Jabs. You're
I don't know. It's a new one. Let's see what Jabs has.
Jabs is not wrong, but I think the UN's the top ticket.
Yeah, we got to get rid of that. Let's do some disclaimers, people. Let's get this out
Joni JoJo's on. Hi,
of the way. We love Joni JoJo. Let's see. I'm going to start with Tim.
Notice this is my brain, the podcast that is mostly raw and unfiltered, like a nice fine Viking mead, and completely politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas and the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, I mean, when we do, we especially like the part about one nation under God. We thank our troops for their service. Thank you, those who are at the table and are tuning in.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We only recognize 2 genders, the dangle and the, well, you guys usually see that part.
Dangle, no dangle.
Yep, one of those. As adults, we enjoy adult beverages. I got myself one of 4 bottles of wine I'm working on. Anybody
Nice.
else out there?
Kelly and I are enjoying
How you
some
guys doing?
adults.
Clinky, clinky. You know,
adult
you
tasty
moved my
taste.
overhead.
Hey,
Is it working?
Patrick's having an
My overhead
adult
works?
over there. He had it hidden.
Hey,
on
there, my
we go.
overhead
You know,
works.
Clinky,
Wait,
clink.
oh, look,
what's Larry
look,
got?
look,
A little
look.
bit
My
of-
overhead
Dr.
is
Pepper.
frozen
Dr.
from
Pepper.
3 days ago.
Go again.
Oh, no.
Look at this frozen overhead from 3 days ago.
Mm.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the current overhead right
No,
now?
no. That was a frozen.
Oh, is it frozen?
Frozen overhead from 3 days ago.
Ah, there we go.
we go.
Nice.
I missed the clink.
Nice.
All right.
That's a good clink.
Where was I?
Listen to that thunder.
Dude, it's
rumbling out there.
I looked at the weather. We're not supposed to get anything until tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Oh,
and it was a low percentage.
Pop up thunderheads, man.
I
It's
just
crazy.
posted the show on Gretchen Whitmer's Facebook page.
Oh, lovely.
You are awesome. Hey, Gretch.
Yep. By the way, we cuss. We do not curse nor
What the-
swear. We cuss.
Too early.
Not cursing or swearing. Those are 3 different things. If you've never heard that before, look them up. We love Jesus.
Wait,
Jesus,
I got it. I got
Yahshua.
it. I got it from now on, Tim.
What is it?
I swear to God, bless your fucking art.
Ha! There you
It
go.
covers all 3 of them.
All 3. I swear to God, bless your heart.
Sure.
Yeah. But we do hate the religious and the religious hypocrites. We used to call them something else. If any of this disclaimer notice offends you,
Bye-bye.
you may leave if you desire. If you feel offended. If your feelings are hurt, if you can't handle the words,
If you feel like
You're free
you're
to go. If
offended,
What's
there's
stick
no
around.
sticker. If
Shed
you
a
have
couple more
not,
tears.
listen, we have a sign
If we haven't
downstairs.
offended you yet, please hang
I
on.
was offended watching a school board
Equal
meeting. I had to look at all those
opportunity
girls
offenders.
or ladies from behind.
Oh, come on. Coffee. We haven't even got
Oh
into
my
that.
We're
God.
not there yet, coffee.
Dude.
Like a bunch of cattle walking away from you.
What the actual? Speaking of that, since you brought it up, Mr. Coffee.
Hmm.
Speaking of cattle.
Speaking of those types of people, go ahead, Kel.
To argue with a person who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medicine to the dead. Thomas Paine.
Now they've changed that. It used to be who's renounced the sense of reason.
Sense of reason.
Yeah. And I use that a lot.
Yeah.
It's my favorite
It's
quote.
one of my favorites.
Nice.
Zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse. I'm telling
Zombie
you.
apocalypse. Give me some bath
I
beans.
loved the term that I just heard Elon Musk say the other day, and I don't listen to him often, but
Mhm.
he called it the woke mind virus.
Oh, he's been saying
Yeah.
that for a number of
And
years.
I
Yeah.
was like,
That was his interview
oh,
when
that
he's
is exactly
because
what it
they
is.
basically killed his oldest
I
boy.
know, I heard the interview. It
Yeah.
was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, he lost
Um,
his oldest son? What?
His
they
oldest
talked. He
son
said they
is now a
deceived him
female.
into believing that it would help him with his suicidal tendencies if he went through gender reassignment. And so they mutilated and so he went
Right.
along with it. They mutilated his body, and he said, "My son's dead to me. I mean, not dead to me, but he's basically I lost my son."
how
What were we gonna say,
He didn't
Patrick?
commit suicide.
I just
yet.
wondered what happened
That's
there.
not
I
gonna
didn't
get
know.
out well.
Yeah, that was part of the interview, and so he said really he got infected with this woke
Mind virus.
mind virus.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was that I was listening
Elon
to
Musk
that.
kid, huh?
Yeah, I was listening to his interview, and I was like, oh, that is so. Because I've been watching. So there's a whole group of people called detransitioners,
Mhm.
and I've been listening to their stories, and
They're
it is
horrific.
heartbreaking
Mhm.
Yep.
what they've been through. Like, oh, it's heartbreaking, and the fact that they were never initially given any kind of real mental health care.
Right.
Like nobody cared enough to make sure they were okay before they started assigning them things, and it all started.
The one gal out of California who's suing the doctor and a bunch of other people, she literally got like 135 minutes, like an hour and or 2 hours or something like that. Not even 2 hours. No, it was less than that. It was like 2 hours of actual counseling. That was it. She got like 2 hours of counseling before they said, yeah, we can go ahead and do major elective gender reassignment surgery.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think she got as far as having her breasts removed and
Mhm.
going on hormone or blockers and stuff before she realized this was. And so she's a huge speaker. I'd have to look her up. I've profiled her before on
I
there.
read that article on the Lantern, and that's what sent me down that rabbit hole. And it's so heartbreaking.
It is. It tears you up. All right, let's continue on with this. Mr. Coffee.
Oh. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, except for Barris. Barris will kill you.
They just
Coffee censored himself.
I'm saving it, man.
He's saving
I'm
the
building it.
F-bomb.
I'm building up.
He's building up the F-bomb.
Let's drop a whole bunch of them.
But see,
I'll
I
sound like
grunted
I
it
got
out, but I
Tourette's or
wasn't
something.
on Vox. I was just in your ears.
Yeah. Patrick.
I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I can clearly see that you are unarmed.
What?
Who said that?
I think that's another.
It doesn't have a quotation.
No, I'll
mark.
look it up.
We'll look it up.
But I will never hear that quote in
With-
anyone else's voice. but
Than Patrick's?
Oh yeah, every
He's
time.
got a good voice.
Yeah, yeah.
You do. You got a good voice.
Well, and if you guys read the screen right now, you can see the words clearly.
It's not there.
It's
yeah.
not there.
But it
That
fits
is Patrick's
so good.
signature addition to the quotation for the
Now
evening,
some-
and we have no issue with it whatsoever. In fact,
You know how some people make their way with their voice and then you find out who they are and they come start stuff. He's got a voice that could
Right.
sell vacuums on
For
the radio.
He-
You
well,
could
no.
do, he could do the
Serious.
demo movies, those like action movies. You know, the preambles
In a
to
world.
the yes.
in a world
Patrick could do those in
world.
a second.
Yeah.
where libtard views don't matter.
let's do
Kirby vacuums.
let's
Someone
do
once said that I have a sexy DJ voice.
Yeah.
Does that
Ooh. Yeah.
for a late
I'm
night?
gonna all
Did you ever
right,
listen to
all
the
right.
Wolfman?
Yeah.
Wolfman Jack. He actually had a really high voice. He modeled that voice for the radio.
Wolfman Jack.
Yeah, his real voice was. It was a little bit
Oh.
more modern, and then when he get on radio, he go, "Yeah, this is Wolfman Jack."
John
Kids,
Bovey.
Yeah, stop.
There's a well-known couple in Detroit that used to do commercials in the local area on everything.
Yeah.
Remember
Can't
Van
remember.
the guy on 101? He had a deep voice. Baby. Yeah, howling
You
something
just
or
made me
other. He
jump a
was,
little bit. I wasn't expecting
Was it
that.
Howlin' Jack? What was
no,
that?
he was Van. It was 101 for the longest time, and he had like a deep baritone voice.
WRIF.
Yes. Yeah. Anyways, all right. Enough of that. Segueing into other things.
Voices.
I don't know what one you wanted, Larry. You didn't tell me, so let's just go with
Kelli.
this one.
Ooh, a well-regulated militia being
Look at
necessary
him. Or did you
to
see it?
security
Jeff?
of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, period. That is the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. It was issued on December 15th, 1791. It expires never, and it is the hardest part of the Constitution for libtards to understand. It totally escapes them.
Would you?
The story is this, that in case you haven't gotten
Oh, wait,
I need to also point out that in this hearing with the Secret Service
Yeah.
person that just recently resigned,
Yeah.
Jamie Raskin was targeting the Second Amendment the entire time.
of course.
If you listen to what he says in every comment he made,
Mhm.
it was all on attack of how we need more regulation, more
Oh, yeah.
laws. And he was criticizing anyone who was against more regulations and more
Well,
laws.
that's what communists do.
Yep.
Communists, fascists, authoritarians.
It was amazing to listen to him. Just,
totalitarians, all the same thing. The enemy of freedom has a name.
You know what?
It's
You know what?
Democrat.
How Ayn Rand termed them in her epic book Atlas Shrugged? The Moochers.
The moochers. Well,
that is
That's a
exactly
good
what
book.
they
The
are.
Moochers. Yeah, that's an excellent book.
Arthur Penhollow.
That's it. Arthur Penhollow.
59.
Sounds-
I said howling or something like that. I couldn't remember.
It wasn't.
Screw that up.
It wasn't Arthur Penthouse.
Penhollow.
Penthowel.
Penthowel.
I knew there
Okay,
was
you
Powell.
sex
Sounds
maniacs,
something
here
like
it
this.
comes!
But
Tequila!
he got even lower. His baritone got even deeper the older he got.
Here he goes. Oh, I thought that was his voice.
I met him during a radio show once.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was
here he
doing a
is.
competition called Speaking in Trade.
Why is it not showing? Darn it, it's not showing.
Where's our tequila? You can't live the whole
This
time
makes
without
me want to
tequila.
do the Pee Wee Herman dance. I'm not gonna
Oh, no
lie.
way.
It's in the other earbud. You didn't hear it.
Where
It
is
was on
the,
that side of your head.
There it
No,
is.
it's not
I
fair.
set up in the
You
tower
can't
this
have
time.
tequila.
Oh yeah.
That was him. He was a long-haired
Arthur
white. Oh no! Wait, somebody put him on. Yeah, this is him.
Yeah. Deep voice. We'll have Patrick take his place. How you guys doing out there in Radio Land? Hey. Want to do Patrick? I'll write him up some copy.
Tequila, baby!
That was his signature. Was baby. We'll write up some copy for Patrick.
Aw.
In a world where brains are melting, tune into "This Is My Brain."
You know, where brains are little
where we have-
used.
Intelligent brains.
Where
Ghost brains are not used.
Let's see. Let's finish up with moi.
Moi. Is that French for moi?
It's French for moi. It is easier to fool the people. It's much easier to fool the people than to convince them that they have been fooled. Mark Twain.
Samuel Clinton.
Like when they tell you that Joe Biden's just fine, great guy, everything, good guy, great guy, great guy.
Sharp as a tack.
And then 2 days later, he's gone downhill. We can't understand it. How did we miss this? And we thought for sure, and they
Cheap
told
fakes.
us,
Slipping.
and
Deep
then
fakes.
now he's got to be removed.
Cheap fakes. Deep fakes.
Cheap fakes.
Can you do me a favor?
What do you need, Kelly?
Can you give Jabs a salute
Oh,
How do I do it?
with
Oh.
your?
Oh, with just the lady on the panel has fabulous hair. She's showering. Hey, Jabs,
Who's
welcome
this-
to the show.
Yeah, who's this Jabs Brown?
Jabs is from the UK.
Okay.
And do you read what they just said?
I'm UK. We were taught to see you as killers in America of each other by the movies. Now I've seen more. Now I've seen
Yeah.
more. I couldn't agree more with the Second Amendment.
Absolutely.
And Jabs, would you not agree that the current VP turned president, I guess we can call it, is dense?
Our former vice president is what we call our current president.
Yes.
Well, Kamala
And then the
Harris is
current
not.
vice president we call the
Next president.
It's so confusing.
oh, Merry Christmas.
Never. No. Kami Harris. I call her
Kami.
the
Kami
never
la-
president.
I
la-
had
la-
somebody
la- la-
Never
telling
present.
me.
Larry, I wish you'd understand she's probably the most competent and
Out of all the
Yeah,
I don't know why you got to
I mean,
be
she's-
critical.
I had somebody telling me that anybody who thinks she's not ready for this position is a racist.
right. They
And
were
it's
she's a
sexist.
That's
black
your talking
woman.
point
And
right
a
now.
sexist. And this is what I said
Yeah.
to her. I was like, you know what? I would agree with you if it wasn't for the fact that she kept young black men in prison longer than their
Yes.
terms so that she could use them for slave labor.
Okay, so she's
I
not.
would agree with you if it wasn't that she had the highest incarceration rate for young black men for very small minor infringements.
Goes ding when there's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would agree
also,
with you.
She's not
the
black.
border czar.
She's not black.
She's
And I said
Jamaican
that also.
Indian.
I said her father's from Jamaica and her mother is Indian. And she was not born a national citizen to the United States because her
Really?
parents would have had to have been United States
That's
citizens
true.
for her to be a natural born citizen.
Yeah,
She's
but we
an
don't want to
anchor
visit that
baby.
type of Kenyan conspiracy
Whoa,
theories.
Hold on.
No,
wait a
it's
second.
not. It's the
A natural born
Constitution.
citizen
She's
is just.
a natural
I'm saying,
born
but
citizen.
nobody gave a
Born
shit
here.
when Obama became president. And
Oh,
he was
I
born
know.
in Kenya.
That's because they forged his Hawaiian.
What were you
yeah.
saying, Kelly? What's the change in status? Where her parents
So
weren't
your
citizens?
parents have to be American citizens for you to be considered a natural born citizen. My brother was born
Never
in
heard that.
Japan,
Never heard
but
that.
because my parents are citizens of the United States of America,
Right.
my brother does not have dual citizenship with Japan. He is an
Sure.
American citizen. His birth
Right.
certificate's American, the whole 9 yards. Your parents have to be from the United States as a natural born citizen, a United States
Never
citizen.
heard that stipulation before.
The only other stipulation is that your parents can become citizens,
Sure.
and then when you're born, but you're a natural citizen at that point. Her parents were not, and they didn't become until well after she was born.
I've never heard that there's been any
Yep.
any issue with there being a difference between that.
That's because Judge is muddy. The Constitution clearly says the founding fathers laid it out very clearly. There's no mincing words.
That what?
You have to be a natural born citizen of the United States, and the definition term of a natural born citizen is a person that was born on the soil to United States citizen parents.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yes, your parents have to be United States citizens. They could be immigrants.
Now,
That's
is-
totally fine.
But is that what it says to be president?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Did not know this.
It's a thing.
Whoever's microphone's rubbing on their shirt.
Larry,
could you
move your
be aware of
microphone
this?
down. It's rubbing on your
His
chin hair.
whiskers.
Move it down just
His
like an
whiskers.
inch. Already muted you.
Every
He's like
I
the
muted
little
you.
boy
Every
in class.
show.
I just needed you to move it down an inch. I didn't need you to make a wardrobe change.
Yeah, change your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the only one that's allowed to have the microphone touching their face because I don't do things like this.
So Jabs has just said something that I totally agree.
Yeah.
Pretty
If
good,
Hillary's
easy.
the VP, slightly terrified. Well, so this is my theory. Can I give you my three
Ooh,
theories?
Hillary's VP.
I have three
Now,
theories.
Jabs, can we give Jabs a warning though? They're using up their talk tokens way too quickly.
Pace
are.
yourself.
Well,
Pace
they're
yourself.
talking about a double female ticket
but
right
pace
now.
yourself,
Like, they're
Jabs.
literally talking in their groups.
You're in a
about
chat with
Yeah.
Americans. Slow your roll.
What's the difference? Double female communists or double or a male and a female?
You're still muted. Just
Now
a
you're
second,
still
Larry.
muted.
I got
Now
it.
that you have
I got
something to say, we can't hear you.
Say it again, Larry, before you send another tweet.
I said, what's the difference? Two female communists, two
Right.
male communists,
Right?
or a male and a female communist. Who cares? A communist is a communist. I don't care if they got a penis or a vagina. That's totally beside the
Or both. I mean, you're so jaded, Larry.
or cat ears.
Or cat ears. I don't know why I had to say that. Let's finish up. It's taken a long time. We've had good discussions,
hasn't done
even with the disclaimer. The disclaimers are right here.
Oh wait, nope. Buttons are broken. Hold on 1 second.
Buttons are broken, and here we go. Ready?
Well, you're not going to get the button if you want to go.
Okay, I'm
You
waiting.
can go if you want to, but you're not going to get the button. Go for it.
Ready?
Never apologize and never explain. It's a sign of weakness. Weakness.
Weak.
And
Weakness.
I
Oh, the buttons are broken. I'm
Buttons
trying
are
to
broken.
Aw.
You can strike my words, but I do not apologize. I do not.
They can't handle the words.
They cannot handle the words.
Baby girl. Baby girl.
Oh, really? Baby
don't
girl?
even-
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come
I
on.
just got to ask one question. If
What's that?
I'm just going to read any sentence, and I want somebody that spoke at that school board meeting tell me what it is when I'm just going to read this.
Yeah.
Never apologize and never explain. It's a sign of a weakness. What the fuck is
What is up with that
Okay,
extra
okay,
syllable
so
at the end
can
of
I-
that
can I-
sentence?
So usually autistic people.
I don't know.
Usually
don't
autistic
know.
people have a tick of some sort. Not always. Not always. His is it's an autistic tick.
Is
That's,
it?
Yes, it's a thing. I've actually heard multiple.
Does it come and go
Children with
because it comes
autism.
and goes?
Is it an autistic deer
I
tick?
think it depends on how upset he is.
Oh, like it's got a fur ball
Yeah,
or some
no,
shit?
not like that. But like the heightened anxiety, like when there's a heightened
Right.
feeling inside, that it's a
Fur
little
ball.
worse.
When they live on their emotions? Yes.
Yes.
Definitely the fur ball.
Yes. I'm trying to be very.
Nice.
No.
I'm trying to
You
explain.
can't. You're trying to play the straight woman?
I'm like,
That's fine.
I could-
You got
I-
jokers around you.
I'm woman-splaining to
Three
you.
of
A woman's explaining.
Listen,
What you trying to woman explain me?
I'm woman-splaining.
Listen,
Did you
Listen,
happen to
girl.
listen to that 3
Listen, girl.
minutes?
Oh,
I had
baby
no clue
girl.
what it was saying.
I did
was
not
like,
actually.
What did you just say?
I'm so happy you brought this up because I heard some
So glad you asked.
dearly interesting intel this morning
We'll go over
about
that
the meeting
later.
last night.
We'll go over it
So,
later. Let's not get started on the school
Let's
board
share
shit
it.
again.
am I allowed to share?
Stop.
Let's do some
Sure.
sharing
For
Uh,
context, those who are new
for
in chat,
context.
this is about one of our larger
Oh, yeah, we
school
gotta set
board,
this up.
unified school board
Yeah.
meetings where we've had a number of different topics.
Yep.
Regarding
We had a school board member last week.
a school board member last week on our Sunday show, and there have been issues.
No, it was Tuesday.
Oh, she did it Tuesday. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Issues here with school board members attending the show and being censored for stuff that was said here.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
some.
So, Kelly,
water.
You want to hear my intel?
I want to
Please.
hear your intel. I do.
So this is kind of gossip. Kind of gossip, but it's somebody that witnessed and heard the whole
Dang.
thing.
Is it breaking news gossip?
Do you have
You can do the breaking news thing. I don't know. It doesn't-
authorization?
Whatever you wanna
Is that
do.
fixed?
Right, here we
It was
go.
broke the other day.
Come on, Kelly.
So I find it
Wait for the drums. Kelly.
I find it incredibly funny that a police report was filed on a person at this table.
Who I do not know
Who
who
could
that
that-
would be. Nobody knows.
If I
Nobody
had
here
to
at
guess,
the table can
if I
point
had
out
to
who
guess,
that person
I
might
don't-
be. That person will remain
Scratch
nameless
my
at the
head.
table at who it
No
might
clue
be
who
that had a police
possibly
report on them.
Don't know.
But you guys can probably guess out there in the chat. Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, so this person had a police report called in on them for threatening behavior on social media. And then I also find it very funny that a certain person that we love dearly and haven't seen for a long time was reported to the FBI
Oh, yes.
for saying,
Yes.
we are coming for you, because it was witnessed by a couple people last night and listened to by
Yep.
a few people last night that a certain group of, what do you like to call them?
Saggies.
Okay.
Saggies.
Yeah.
So can I say the leader's name, because I'm going to talk about the PAC,
Sure.
because it's a political action committee and she's the leader of it.
Okay.
There you go.
A political action committee member named Julia Hashi. I believe she's the head of the political action committee.
Is that called Sage?
Yes, they're
Yes.
part of that group. That's not the name of the actual PAC, though.
Oh, the PACs. Okay.
Um,
That's some other stupid acronym.
Socialists and gay.
Surrounded a school board
Livingston
member
and
last
Cambridge,
night
isn't it?
after the meeting.
Right.
Livingston.
On our way out.
On her way, on the school board member's way out of the building,
Okay.
because they were upset with this school board member, and they basically threatened this person that they were coming for her. So
Wow.
parents, you're upset about the decision last night,
Yeah.
call the FBI and let them know that
Yeah.
these women are threatening school board members. Okay,
Right,
just
right.
so that we are all on the same page here, because that is what you're supposed to do,
No.
apparently, by
Turn
their
around.
behavior.
Turn around, Jim. Oh, I had it.
You had it.
I had it.
It's,
I-
this is a much better picture because I can't see Larry now.
In this house, this podcast,
Oh,
we
geez.
say gay and retarded.
Gay,
Thank you,
the actual definition of gay means to be happy, and
Yep.
retarded means to be hindered in forward motion.
Forward motion.
You
Yep.
can take words like you do colorful things and twist them into whatever
Okay, hand that back to
jacked
Jeremy.
up thing that you want. But these are the original words, and no matter how much you bastardize them, they still remain.
So this group of women
Wait,
surrounded
and thanks to a certain person in chat for those signs.
Thank you. Go ahead.
this group of women surrounded this school board person and threatened her that they were coming for her, and informed her that they were going to make her TikTok famous because they were going to blow her up on TikTok.
Mhm. Because
with-
that's all they have is threats and intimidation.
right. And then as this school board member was trying to exit the parking lot to go to her vehicle,
Right.
a certain chartreuse-haired member of this group pulled up with loud music
I don't like that
playing.
word.
It's not a real
Yeah.
color.
In a threatening manner.
Nothing against colored hair, but just the politics
Just-
underneath.
It's chartreuse, you know,
Colored
it's
hair.
a color.
I mean, Kelly, you've done my hair. I got
Yeah.
colored hair. So,
You've got colored hair.
Yeah.
So this I'm not saying names though. So these people did this to the school board member.
Right.
Nothing
And-
threatening there.
We can
And
say
the
the school
only
board
thing I
members, right?
have
Because
to
she's been on the
say about the blowing the school board member up on TikTok is,
Yeah.
honeys,
Yeah.
you've been out and about for a couple years now, flapping your mouths
Mhm.
and doing your thing.
In
And
public.
I guarantee you, there are videos of you
Mm-hmm.
that haven't been released yet.
Mm-hmm.
So keep going.
Mm-hmm. I have footage.
Keep going.
Yes, and unfortunately there was a miscommunication or a lack of a reminder. We'll blame Larry because Tim was gonna try and make it with the camera. And that
I
didn't
was
happen.
supposed to show up to that school board meeting.
Yeah.
He informed me minutes before it started.
John Bodie is
You mean I
indicating that.
reminded you, not informed you, reminded.
No, informed me that I wasn't there.
John,
also,
I didn't know where my pants were, let alone where I was.
the reason I brought up the PAC is because
Yes.
Julia Hashi, the leader of the PAC,
Leader
was,
of the
I
pack.
know, right?
The
Was
swastika
saying
girl?
to, yes, it's amazing how she coincidentally always ends up where the white supremacists
You know, that
are.
came up.
It's kind of interesting to me. I'm like, how do you find these people?
I know.
Like, I know there's horrible people out there. I know there's members of groups,
Yeah.
but first of all,
She
they look
probably
kind of like
pays
Fed Boy
them.
cadets to me, so I'm pretty sure they were
Yeah.
infiltrators. And then second of all, how does she always end up where they
She
are?
probably pays them
Like,
to show up there.
It's
Wow.
astounding. Anyway,
They're
so this
probably
person
paid
has
actors.
a ton of PAC money, her
Mhm.
words, not mine.
Yep.
And this PAC money is being supported behind a certain group of candidates. One of them being one that doesn't like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or our veterans.
Mm.
So
She has
There's
weak
several
knees.
of
This
He was
candidate-
clearing the way for people that are twice her height.
this
Which
candidate
included
that is
Stacy
currently
Shaw.
sitting on the Board of Education for Hartland Schools, who was selected, not elected, to her seat, which
Mm.
is against the rules. This person colluded with this
Colluded?
PAC member to change the verbiage at the last minute for what they approved last night. So parents,
Interesting.
if you're upset about the vote last night, FOIA request,
Right.
all communications between Julia Hashi, I call her Julie Smollett, but Julia Hashi and Cindy Shaw, the current selected board member on the
Right.
board, who is running for election. Please FOIA those communications because I think they might be enlightening to you. Also, if this PAC is funding her campaign, that's bad luck. That's a real bad luck. in my opinion.
So to clarify the decision last night, for
Mhm.
those who are not in the know, are you referring to which decision?
I'm referring to the vote that they passed for the bathrooms where they completely and totally removed parents from the equation.
Okay, well, was that the one where they had 3 different options to vote on?
Yes, and
Okay.
they voted for option 1.
They did. That's the one I
Yes.
heard
Yeah, the
read.
absolute worst.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Heard
parents
read.
do not get notified because all parents are abusive bastards according to
Right.
this group of people.
Listen, Hillary tried to teach all of you very narrow flyover
Hillary.
country rubes that it takes a village.
Oh, Clinton.
And if you,
I hope somebody sues.
She
the
took a
crap.
village. She's taken a couple villages.
yeah, with
She's taken out a
Predator
couple
drones.
villages. Yeah.
we came, we saw,
He
he
died.
died. I laugh about murdering people. It's fun.
That's evil. And she smells like cabbage. I have that on
Why
first
is
hand
it
Which
cable
one does?
going to my camera?
Hillary
Smells
Clinton.
like cat.
Oh.
Yes, I have a client that was on her detail.
You know,
And my client was like, "That woman smells like the most foul, sulfury
Hey, coffee.
cabbage you've ever
I
smelled."
told you that damn
Oh, wow.
cable.
Go move that
Wonder
Hey,
what
coffee.
that causes that.
Go move that cable.
Jeez.
Look to your left.
Yeah.
Go
See
move
the-
that
see the
cable in
cable?
front of my shot. See
Yeah.
the cable?
Yeah.
That's showing off your nice, beautiful gams.
What do I got to do to it, Jeremy? I took out my hearing.
Well, I put a hook on the ceiling and Tim
I
insisted
didn't touch it.
that-
Oh no!
I don't know why that cable is
he
there.
wanted to move.
Could
I want
have
to get the
been
elephant
talking.
shot.
Oh,
keep
there's
the-
the glasses right there. This was.
I told you they were there. See the hook on the ceiling?
Yeah. These were.
I
This
didn't
was
touch that
made.
hook.
Uh-huh.
For reason. Is that all right?
I unhooked it for you, and then you moved the camera back and didn't hook it back up.
Oh, blame it
Is
on
that okay?
Blame it on
That
your
is
only
perfect,
one
Coffee.
guy. Thank
Give
you.
us a nice big smile
Nice-
right
This
into the
was
camera.
ordained because
I said that they were
There's
up
a-
there.
There's
say
a yay
you
for
said this
coffee.
and do this and you don't. You lying fuck.
So if you guys, speaking of
F-bomb.
smells, if you guys remember, last year for my birthday, my wife took me to
You were
Washington,
born?
D.C.
Yes.
and we were in a hallway in the Senate building.
Yeah.
And
Pulling fire.
no,
Yeah.
that's for Democrats to do. We were admiring the art on the
He
walls.
thought it was a door release.
We took a
Right.
art tour, and we were admiring the art on the walls.
This red lever dude.
And my wife grabbed me like this and pulls me over towards her. She says, "Look out, here comes Bernie Sanders." And
What?
within a foot of me, Bernie Sanders walked by, and he smelled like sulfur,
Sulfur.
and Bengay.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Really?
It's because they're
Geriatric
disgusting
Sulfur
people.
farts and Bengay. Oh, my
Geriatric.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you, she
geriatric
should have
coal.
said sulfur and cabbage for,
Yeah.
for the other one. So.
Yeah.
That's because they're demonic people, and they reflect that.
Yeah.
When you see somebody that doesn't just is unkempt and nasty, and they go against any a person who's whole inside, working on issues, of course, always trying to be your better self. But when they're whole inside, they have a certain way that they carry themselves and present themselves. They care about, am I offending somebody with my stench?
No.
Or should I wash up? And these people don't. These people don't. Hey, I got to do this, guys.
That
If you
is
haven't
not
hit
unkept.
that
That is not unkept,
is disgusting.
isn't it?
I don't even want to see that. You just fried my brain. Guys, if you're over on Rumble, hit the thumbs up over there, please. And if you're not on Rumble, what the hell is wrong with you? Because we only use the other platforms to get you over to Rumble. And then on top of that, here's what we need to do.
Well,
What's
clips
our
on
thing?
Twitch too.
Yes, Twitch, clips on Twitch.
Yeah, Baghead, louder, Tim from over
Yeah.
there. He's always on Twitch. So it's good to see him.
That beer.
The other thing.
Beer.
Are you having a
Scotch.
conversation?
Yeah.
Scott, I don't want to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
If you guys have not done it yet, I want you to go check out our locals page. It's TIMB
Oh yes,
at
tell about-
locals.com.
yes.
And here's what we need. Locals, I didn't realize it because I'm getting new to locals. Locals is connected with Rumble. Locals is kind of like their Discord dynamic.
It's a Twitter response.
Yeah. So there's
to-
more information.
yeah.
We want to build that channel up because what we want to eventually do is have some content over there that's kind of exclusive.
Yes.
Pre
Pre-show, open
stuff.
mics,
When we're down,
Yep.
I love to cook. Everybody here loves to cook and eat.
open mic dinner is
And
coming
so,
up for pre-show for locals. Content.
We'll have a microphone down there. We'll know that we're
We'll
on
do
camera, so we won't drop as many F-bombs as Larry usually drops. but we'll hang out down there.
So behind the scenes
Stuff. So here's what
that
happens
Kelli
with
doesn't want us
locals.
to talk about.
Locals, you have to have 50 subscribers to get past only a half an hour viewing time per show.
Yeah.
Then you have to have, I think, 300 subscribers to get up to
Something like
an hour, beyond an hour and a half of time.
Yeah.
So right now,
Stop rubbing your mic, please.
if you're tuned into the show, if you were tuned into locals, which we have 48 subscribers over there, so I need 2 or 3 more.
Right.
The show's already ended for you guys over there because we're
Right.
only allowed a half an hour because they justify their bandwidth allotment to each channel
For viewer
by
count.
how many subscribers you have.
Viewer count.
So if you
yeah.
guys get a chance next following week, go over to timb@locals.com.
If you're watching on your computer, the link is right below the stream. But I'll also pin it in chat.
Okay. And just go over
Or
there
in
and
the
hit
comment
subscribe.
section.
Hit subscribe. And you get the same content here as you do on Rumble or any of the other ones. That one we want to build a little bit of a community over there. You know?
Whatever happened to the Stir podcast that used to be on? Never mind.
Sorry, it was on the Real Shop.
Who
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
I think the local animal control officer shut it down the show.
Oh no.
Some about not having the proper shots.
See,
Misinformation.
They
Almost.
I'll tell you that you guys want to know the truth out there. Do you care? Since Coffee brought it up, do we care?
Do you know the
Yes,
truth?
we care. We
Like
want to know.
real truth?
Now we want to know. What are you
Or
gonna
the
say?
sarcastic truth?
No, this is the absolute truth. This is the ring of truth.
Oh,
This is
the ring of
absolutely
truth,
This is
my
the
man.
absolute truth.
Here we go.
Is that they just didn't have enough creativity to
No.
find things to mock
Mhm.
on our show that was obviously genuine.
Oh,
So when they kept trying to just mock us, and then they tried to mock us for the school board members that came on last March or whatever it was. Okay.
Yep.
Almost 99% of the people that tuned in to actually watch the show, and we had 3,500.
Oh yeah.
That show blew
Huge.
up,
Huge.
and
It's like 1,500
99% of the people that tuned in go,
on the VOD.
"Well, that's not what they said,"
That's not what they said. Yeah.
Right.
because they tried to assail us. They tried to
Just
mock
words.
us.
Yeah.
So they basically built their show on trying to mock conservatives,
Right.
and we were one of their main targets. And
How'd that work out for you?
well, I mean,
No,
we
I
do a
meant for
better.
them. How'd that work
Yeah,
out
we
for
do
you?
a better job of mocking.
They actually brought the fired and disgraced John King from WHMI onto the show, and he complained about me.
Well, yeah. I want to
Yeah, it's like,
complain about
that's
Larry.
it.
I would complain about Larry.
Yeah. He didn't file a police report like Cindy Shaw, though.
It's funny. He gets some of those shots from groups that are just happen to be protesting in front of the Opera House and be there.
It's kind of amazing how it's all circular, isn't it? Like
Mhm.
every article, there's like a quote from a certain person who just happens to always be in the right place at the right time to catch the things. I mean,
You-
it's
we
amazing.
interviewed-
how
You
that
guys are
works.
such conspiracy theorists.
Really?
So be
Uh,
careful,
I mean,
folks.
I'm one of the mind that how many coincidences before it's no longer a coincidence?
You know,
I still want to
I
tell you
just-
my 3 theories on what's coming.
okay.
It takes three
If anybody
quink-
wants to know.
three quinky dinks
We all want to know,
to make it truth.
especially Pat.
Chat, do
I
you
need
guys
to
want to
know.
know my 3
Mhm.
theories?
I
What
want
are the theories about?
Kelly's 3 theories.
I want to hear.
What are they about?
What are they?
They're about what's coming with this whole situation that we're currently sitting in. I don't know if we're going to be talking about that or not.
What
but
situation?
The coup that's currently happening in
yes.
the Democrat
Oh, you're
Party
talking
in the
about
Do
the
you
White
want
House.
to say that because
Presidential election coup?
I do have this.
You mean denying the primary voters their pick?
I mean, what I think the possible outcomes are going to be of the next few weeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have
let's-
3
let's-
theories.
Let's play this because I want you guys to know definitions. I don't want you to be ignorant of definitions here. Let me see if I can
Put it
pull
up.
this up
We're
there.
defining coup.
I went from an ageist to a racist. Overnight. That
You
quick.
ageist
I
racist?
go, I'm an ageist.
Wow,
was a
that
big
took like
thing.
15 seconds.
Carlos, what are you up to?
It's called a coup d'etat, which is a French for coup d'etat.
Carlos, you've been my most trusted number 2 for years.
But guess what? I am sick of doing number 2. It is our time for number 1, yeah? We the bosses now.
So it's just the coup d'etat, French for
there you go.
coup d'etat.
It's French for a coup d'etat. And I put it in here. Carlos from the movie Hop.
Yep.
Coup d'etat is French for coup d'etat.
coup d'etat.
Coup
It's
d'etat.
French for coup d'etat.
Coup d'etat. Actually, a coup d'etat is one of the. It was very interesting. One of the definitions that I looked up today actually said a fast or
Coup d'etat. Fast change.
it was a fast change, but that's like a modern take on it because a coup d'etat is simply a not even a violent. It's an overthrow of a duly elected or duly established government by factions apart from the government that take it over. Is really what it is. It's a coup d'etat is literally you just took over the government. Like if an armed group took over the White
The other
House.
one is
Right.
the coup de grace, right? Where it's a killing motion.
What?
Or two that are the same.
Sounds
What
like
you're
you're
saying.
Coup de-
What's the other one?
Coup de grace.
sounds like you're trying to translate like
Yeah.
rapture in the Bible as
De
a catching up.
Catch up.
catch up.
Raptura.
Raptua. Coup d'etat. Anyway, so a coup d'etat. We are, and I put it in our notes here down under the brain freeze. We are in a slow coup d'etat.
Mhm. It's been going for 4 years now. I'm kind of over it.
Well,
Actually, like 8 years.
It's been going for that long, but it's also been going since really 1870. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
and
mean,
then
we've been visibly able to see it.
correct.
for at least 8
And I want you to see this one real quick. This was Elon Musk reposted this one, and I want you guys to see this. Here's where we're at right now.
You are right here. Yep. Well, wow.
Yeah, we're looking at
That's-
real silver, number 1. That's real
Right.
silver coinage.
Right.
And the gold
Silver and gold
standard.
coinage were the only constitutional
Yeah. What is this
money.
What is this currency
The
here?
second one is a silver-backed currency there. One
the
silver
seal.
dollar.
Okay. yeah,
Number 3
two,
is
yeah.
a Federal Reserve note.
Which is
fraud,
fake.
Federal
Federal-
Reserve,
Yeah.
unitary denomination.
Not a government office.
Yeah, and
Fraud.
number 4 is the Bank of Zimbabwe. It's a $50 million note, which could probably get you a loaf of bread.
Oh, the inflation. You're talking about
Yeah,
hyperinflation.
hyperinflation.
That's
okay.
not happening.
And then number 5 there
a
is a 5.56 round,
Right.
and that means revolution.
Well,
because
there is actually going to be a stage in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere that is going to have a what's that thing called? It's what's in pot?
Hemp?
an effervescence.
CBD.
CBD.
A hemp THC.
Oh yeah, the central banking. Yeah.
So it's a
Oh,
DCBD.
central bank digital currency.
DCBD. Digital central
I
bank.
would say that the
or,
central bank digital currency
CBDC.
would be the Zimbabwe of today.
Exactly.
They're
Right.
gonna. The fact is, we keep saying that we've printed more money than we've ever printed, but the reality is we haven't printed more. They just entered more stuff on the computer. We haven't actually printed more money.
No.
Most people don't realize there's more hard currency, actual paper money. The vast majority of it's actually outside the United States. The vast majority of our printed money is outside the
And you
United
know
States.
what denomination?
$20 bills.
Hundreds.
Oh,
Hundreds. Pat knows. Yeah. They ship
It
them.
used to be 20.
No, hundreds. They ship them in pallets for
Right. but-
paying to warlords in other
Correct.
countries. Pallets of hundreds.
Well, and back years ago, the 20s were the most common ones. Anyways,
we used to have $1,000 bills too, and $500.
well, they still
They still
do,
do.
but they do those interbank. Those are intrabank
Yeah.
bills.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you notice how the bills are done, it's very interesting. They originally, the paper monies had some semblance of honoring our forefathers, but then
Did you hear that?
the most common bill. The reason I bring up the 20 is because the person on the
Founded.
on the $20 bill is Andrew Jackson. Who
Yep.
fought against the establishment of a central bank.
Yeah.
That was his primary thing.
Was it you
was
that
to
was
fight.
telling me that that Lincoln and Jackson and some of their faces were used on bills as almost an insult?
Lincoln is, if you look at your coinage,
The penny. Right?
Lincoln is on the brown coin and is facing the opposite direction of all the other presidents on the coin.
To
They have these
disparage him.
these little subtle snides that they do on that.
Is that what that was about?
Yeah,
Okay.
and Kennedy was put on the
50
Kennedy
cent.
$50
Yep.
because Kennedy had ordered the federal government, not the Federal Reserve,
$5, yeah.
but the actual Treasury Department to print up, I think it was $400 million or something like that
Wow.
of actual U.S. currency. One of the things he was going to do. A lot of people focus on the CIA and the failed attack in Cuba, the Bay of Pigs, and some of the
fake
other
attack in Cuba. Yes.
some of the other things that they were going to do. Okay, that they've done. The number one thing he was going to do was to get rid of. He was going to splinter. What I'm saying that because he was going to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces.
His
Is what he
words.
said. Is what
Yep.
he said.
His words. Yep.
So a lot of people focus on the CIA and the mafia because Bobby Kennedy and the Kennedy, their father had made a deal with the mafia that they wouldn't go after them. And as soon as Bobby Kennedy got in as
Pissed off the team.
as the Attorney General,
Yes.
he started going after organized crime and taking it out. So there's two things: the organized crime and the CIA, what we would call today the deep state elements of it. They hold those up as the most prominent aspects of those who killed Kennedy. But the reality is, his number one thing that he was doing was going to abolish the Federal Reserve, and that's why they put him on the 50-cent piece as
The
a
top of the
mockery of him.
pyramid.
Because he had also was minting coinage according to the Constitution. They thought they owned him. They backed him for president, and when he got in, he became as much of a constitutionalist as he knew how to become in the midst of other issues.
How's
Yeah.
Robert related again? I forget.
He is the He is the
Brother.
He is the
He's the
Robert
brother's
Kennedy
son.
Jr. is his Bobby Kennedy was his dad.
Oh, Robert Kennedy Jr. is Bobby Kennedy's son.
Correct. So his dad and his uncle were both assassinated.
Yeah, and in case anybody is confused, he is a flaming liberal. He is.
Is he?
He is
Yeah.
anti Second Amendment.
The only thing he's good at is coming out
Well,
against the vaccines.
Yes. Other than that, he is libtarded to the core.
And catching snakes.
And what?
And catching snakes.
Well, his
He's good at
family
catching
has a,
snakes.
He likes snakes.
What? His family has a history against guns. With all the.
He's
against
that's. I think
shooting.
that's
Yeah.
that's
That's par for the course.
What were you gonna say, Patrick?
I had a question about that graph up there.
Oh, you want to put that back up? I just deleted it.
Oh man, you deleted it. Okay,
No,
well,
no, it's all good. I got it. I get it right back right here.
yeah, I'm wondering where's Bitcoin in on that
Oh yeah.
blockchain?
Well,
Blockchain's not
I-
going to be centralized yet, as far as I was.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
don't-
they voted that down.
I think you can escape that
Bitcoin
system.
is
It's a
its
different
own
system.
unique animal because the
Yeah, it
only
shoots
real
over
flaw
here.
I've ever seen in Bitcoin is that if the electrical grid and the internet is taken out,
You lose it.
you don't have
gone.
access. I mean, you could have it on a hard drive in an
And you better not
a
fuck
thing,
up
but
with-
how are you gonna use that?
If
Here,
CrowdStrike
there's
does
a
another
million
update,
Bitcoin
you
on
can
here.
lose it.
Okay, but yeah,
Now,
Well-
how's anybody going to know there's a million?
Well,
Bitcoin
you-
because you can't. Yeah, that's
Correct.
why
You open it
this
up.
stuff is dangerous.
Well, that one I'll tell you is if you're going to do any digital currency from my research, Bitcoin is the most secure, most stable digital
is-
currency.
Second is
All the rest,
lithium.
lithium is
is two.
decent. Yep.
Second.
Some of these other ones, they're fly by night.
Yeah.
They're open to one of the big
Is that what
things.
Zell is? Is Zell?
No. Zelle is just a transfer medium between
Yeah.
established FDIC banking
It's like
institutions.
Venmo and.
Well, no, it's more. Zelle is a FDIC
Oh,
banking
it's
institution.
actually accredited.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
By the.
It's only
by
between
big
bankings.
Government.
Is that
banking
on a Swift?
institutions.
Is that on the Swift
It's
platform? Is that on the Swift platform?
no, I'm not that. No. I know that it is.
Swift is the overriding whole platform between the banking market
I don't,
and
think,
the
I don't
bank.
know if it's on Swift or not, but
Yeah.
I know that it's only used by
Cross-breeding is
banks.
astounding.
Talking to you, Larry.
It's not like PayPal or Cash
Anyway,
App
so you see
or-
that, Patrick. I would say what they're trying to do is they're trying to bring in the CBDC, which is
Yeah.
the central
That's
central
what
bank
CBDC.
digital currencies,
Yeah.
because that's the only way they could possibly try to compete with Bitcoin. The other currencies have tried to compete with Bitcoin, and they ultimately are kind of a wash. Bitcoin has been stable since it's come out. It had a completely decentralized platform on it. At one point, me and my business partner, we had a lot of it. that computer and the 8-word password that you have to use somehow got misplaced.
Oh no.
And that was back when you could pick it up for, a few bucks.
It was $9.
Yeah. Anyways, so there we go. Where's our time frame at? Okay, we're doing good. Doing good, everybody. How's chat doing, Mr. Coffee? Catch us
Everything's
up.
fine. We don't want to get anybody upset.
Nobody.
I didn't mean to completely stifle Jabs. I noticed I mentioned that they were using up.
No, Jabs,
talking
keep talking.
points.
Tim
Yeah,
was just being Tim and
Being
telling you to
hungry.
face yourself.
It's not Canaan.
Now, I want to do this
UK.
as we're talking about people who are stepping up and stepping down. All right, we covered the school board. Larry, did we cover your speech?
Like what I have, and you're up all night.
Did you want to talk about your? Do we have a clip of Larry's speech or no?
I didn't.
Oh,
I
did
have
you
it all
talk
recorded.
about-
I didn't.
He read the
pull any
police
of it.
report.
You read the police report.
Yeah,
Ah.
let's give it.
I can go pull it. I also have to make
No.
clip media or break media. I
No,
don't
it's
have
fine.
anything.
We'll just do it. Larry, give us a recap of what you said. Tim had it recorded, but he didn't get a chance to.
Oh, okay.
I
to
watched it. I know what he said.
Well,
Yeah.
He
between
said,
the
Cindy
two.
Shaw, you fat little bitch. This is what you said on the police report. I think that's what I heard. I don't know.
Oh,
My hearing's kind of fucked up.
you
that,
had Coop though,
that
correct?
was something like
You
that. I
didn't
think.
do what
I don't
he
know. You,
did.
you fat little mushroom bitch, and then read a police report. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not
thrown in
sure.
cross-eyed. I've heard
You are-
cross-eyed thrown in there a few times.
Well, I
Cross-eyed
walked
little
up to the
mushroom.
microphone and I addressed the board, and the first thing I said was that we need to pass a bathroom policy with teeth that will protect the children, especially girls, in the bathrooms, locker rooms, showers, and girls sports. And then I said, secondly, would like to move on. I have a police report here in my hand that was taken by Livingston County Sheriff's Deputy King, a complaint from school board member Miss Cindy Shaw, and then I read it in its entirety.
Good for you.
What kind of burger was that?
How ridiculous that was.
Yes.
And the
What kind-
waste of taxpayer money and time.
Cindy
Yeah.
Shaw.
Well, I want to clarify, Larry. What kind of burger was it? Was it a mushroom and Swiss burger? Was it a double quarter pounder? Or was it a nothing burger?
It was a nothing.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to see what kind of.
The
we're gonna
police
start.
report was.
We should start doing just burger categories of what these
Yeah.
things
It
are.
was, it was
John,
worse.
John Bovey said he heard fat mushroom whore.
A lot of people are hearing a lot of things
They're
out there, and we
different
don't want to speculate. We know that
Yes.
Coffee's hard of hearing. I had to adjust his whole side of the table,
Right.
the monitors, so he could actually hear in his
Right.
earphones,
Well,
so that
But
Tim could
what
yell
I-
at him
what I
properly.
do
But Larry,
have-
clarify
yeah.
for us what you
But
actually said.
Yeah. Well, the police report itself, she admitted in the police report to the deputy that I did nothing wrong, that she knew I did nothing
there was
wrong.
no threat.
That I never threatened her, but she wanted to file a police report anyway. Then my conversation on the phone with the Livingston County Sheriff's deputy, he was clear that, well, you didn't
Are
do
we
anything
clear?
wrong. As a matter of fact, he stated, I can't even ask you not to do what she said you were doing because it's not illegal. All she did was call her out for the things she has done as a school board member.
Yeah.
And I said that is correct. So I read the police report, and I stated that I knew I did nothing wrong. And then I talked about how it is that the police are there to serve us. In this case, it is the Livingston County Sheriff's Department that is here to protect the people, to enforce the laws, and to keep us safe.
Mhm.
That's their function,
Mm-hmm.
right? Their
Function,
function
function.
is not vengeance for school board members that don't like being called out for the things that they do while they're on the school board.
When-
Like sitting on your fat behind
While the
during the
Pledge of Allegiance-
national anthem.
Yeah, in the Pledge of Allegiance.
It is
Or-
astonishing to me that the people that want to defund the people they run to the most,
Right.
Right.
they're just freaking they are hypocrites.
Yeah.
Dude,
Pretending to be something
they
you're
are
not.
narcissists
Yeah.
Right.
who need their mental help. Mental help.
I still,
Like,
Right. And
haven't still
Deep therapy.
haven't seen any in the county that have stepped up for the $500 free money to take in the newcomers. Not one. They would be look at me, not one. I haven't seen one.
That's all they
I
are.
haven't
is
seen
first
and-
where they stepping up. I don't see them.
And to continue on, I followed up. I ran out of time. So my final comment was, shame on Cindy Shaw. That was my final comment. And what I have to add to that, because I ran out of time, is as a veteran, I'm appalled that she would try and shut me up by trying to weaponize the Livingston County Sheriff's Department and bullying me into silence. I will not be silent.
I gather that,
And
Larry.
the people of Livingston County, and especially the people of Hartland that are voting in this next election, which is in November for the school board members, you need to reject Cindy Hall and the people that are running with her on that, shall we call it saggy slate? Because these are the people the Democrats support. Is the saggy slate.
Literally, that PAC is funding them.
Yes.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
And one of them's currently making stupid decisions on the board.
I think everybody should take a cue from the true president, President Trump. From now on, when the timer goes off saying that your time is up, your 3-minute time is up, I think you should just all say, wait, and throw your fist in the air and yell fight 3 times, and then walk off the stage.
Yeah.
That seems to be a good tactic. I mean, it's rallied a lot of
Did
people.
you see the baseball
Larry-
players going like this?
Dude, they're all doing it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. If you guys haven't seen this, the baseball players are giving the Trump salute now where they grab their ear and they fist bump in
No
the
way.
air.
They get a home run or
Yes,
something?
they're doing it across the board, dude,
Oh,
and
that's
it's
cool.
pissing off the liberal media like
Every
crazy.
single time they run across, they cover their right ear and run across with their fist in the air.
When they score a run or
We
something.
gotta see if you
That's
can.
funny shit.
It was
We gotta see if we can
hilarious.
find one of them because it's spreading like wildfire across over. They grab the ear and
Kind
pump their
of
fist.
like the Brandon thing.
Yes, exactly.
That's
That
funny
sounds like
shit.
they're calling out to you. So good speech, Larry.
It'll take about 4 minutes to export your speech, Larry. I'll try to
Okay.
slip it into the break media.
Okay. Let's do this. So we got people stepping up, stepping down, stepping up, stepping down. I wanted to show you guys this, having a little fun out there in Facebook land. Actually, it wasn't even Facebook land, but this is where it's at. I'm going to cut to this. Let's see what this is. Speaking of people who dodge bullets.
She didn't invent
Give me a
it.
minute.
Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump, as in Donald the Bullet Dodger.
Why do they call him the bullet dodger?
Because he dodges bullets, Abby.
You're hearing the reports that there were multiple shooters.
This is
I am hearing those reports too, yeah. So there you go. Donald J. Trump, the bullet dodger.
There are actually multiple
exclusively-
people involved.
Exclusively from, why did it play again?
There was
know.
somebody on top of the tower
Should
I don't have it on
that
repeat.
actually took the shot, and the 20-year-old was just
A patsy.
A decoy? Yeah.
Like
a
the guy
decoy.
in the
There,
book factory.
Yeah, and after the shooting, he jumped out a zip line and zip line through the trees out of there and jumped into a black SUV, which had plates on it that were tied to the Homeland Security.
Homeland Security.
Interestingly enough, that cell phone that they were tracking that
Yeah.
was associated with the kid was pinged really
I
close to the
don't
same
know.
location.
That all
headquarters
sounds made
wise.
up.
Sounds like a lot of
to me.
conspiracy theories.
That's
Well, there's
all
a lot
made
of
up.
stuff going on, but let's get down to brass tacks
All
here.
made up.
You can't put anything past the Democrats. Look at what they have done to Trump.
Honestly, I
for
think
the
there were
past 4 years.
conservatives involved in it too.
I'm just
Republicans
saying,
involved in it too.
you know,
Conservatives
listen.
or rhinos?
Republicans.
Okay,
That,
there's a huge difference. You can't say conservatives because
well, they call themselves that. Like I'm
not
watching
all.
Magpie over in the
Yeah.
sticks over there, and I kind of would like.
Listen,
to kick her in
guys,
the
we don't
twat.
want to get deep into the woods here and say that 9/11 was an inside job
I would.
and that Hillary was about to be indicted and all of the criminal
She was
files
shot by
on her
security.
was in the Oklahoma City building that blew up.
And building
come on.
6 didn't fall.
7?
7.
Yeah.
And Rumsfeld didn't declare
Come on.
bankruptcy prior to
Guys, we cannot get off in the weeds
Those-
and go into these types of
Full-fledged
conspiracy theories,
conspiracies.
because if we do that, then in 3 to 4 months it'll be true,
And
and we
Epstein's
can't be ahead of the
client
curve
list.
pointing it out.
I'm just going to say one thing.
What are you going to say? One
Those-
thing?
The racist guys that were at the courthouse and on
Yeah.
the bridge right here.
Yeah.
I did not, when I sent them out there, I did not condone them motherfucker to wear the Burger King
crown.
Crown. And
Yeah.
I did
Send me
not
that picture
authorize
so that people know what you're talking about.
I mean, come on, you really
I'm
think
telling you, that is a cadet
all
roundup
these-
of agents. I
Look at-
guarantee
well,
it.
look
What
at, they're
was this?
all in-
What was this
they're all in
story?
shape. They're all
They're like-
young.
They're like really young, 20-something-year-old
When was
dudes.
this?
Yeah, they look like
I
20.
guess this.
something.
Well, Julia Hashi was there. She posted all over the place, and John
Are they
Keane wrote
holding
an
a Trump
article
flag?
for her about it. No, they're saying they're
they're
KKK.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, they're so-
White
They're like
lives.
those
Dude,
dumbasses down in Florida.
Any
with the-
legitimate KK is the Democrat Party, and any illegitimate KKK is the FBI propping them up
Yep.
to stir up trouble.
Yep.
There are no truly legitimate KKK. They're either propped up by the Democrats or they're propped up by the FBI.
Yep.
And
It's
when
all AstroTurf bullshit.
I think they were recruited and paid by Giulio Sashi.
well,
Now that is slander, Larry, and I will not
Yeah,
stand
no,
for
I
it.
can say that.
I will continue- I
said
will
think.
I will continue to stay seated and not stand for
My
that.
I mean,
opinion.
she has said that her PAC has a ton of money to throw at elections. So she
did you
said
send
it
it to
out of
me?
her own mouth
Now, explain this, because I was not aware of this incident. Apparently, my
on Saturday.
co-host did not inform me properly.
Apparently, a group of white supremacists started on the steps of Howell Courthouse
and went
with
down to
their
the
stupid
library.
signs,
Okay.
looking
There's
like
like
dumbasses.
7 or 8
Look
of
at that dumbass.
You know.
Right.
Listen,
and
no,
look
wait.
at the one
Wait,
behind
wait.
the Burger King. It's
Yeah.
a gardener's hat.
You know
Come
how?
on, boys! I taught you better than that.
Do you know how to
being racist.
tell that every one of them is a liberal? You know how to tell? They all got face diapers, every single
Yeah.
one. of them.
Exactly. They don't have the honor and courage to show themselves, show their face.
Yeah. Well, and I've
Um,
seen this play before. This happened in Florida.
It's
the exact
probably
same
just
shirts, exact
Antifa
same
clowns.
script.
Burger
Yeah.
King.
Yeah, it's
But-
where people
What am I hearing?
gather
You're
together
hearing-
and listen to my
Come
words. Look up the term color revolution.
Color revolution.
We are currently living
In a color revolution.
in a
This right
color
here.
revolution.
What do you got?
They identified some of them. The
Oh,
Proctor.
Tim-
None of
not
them are
Proctor,
from here.
what's
Tim's
his
got
name? The mayor put the.
Oh, the MLB.
MOB's doing it.
They're
Holding
doing
his ear.
Yeah, holding the
Fight,
ear.
fight.
That's good.
Yep.
shit.
That's on next.
Dude, that's awesome. They're doing it great. So I will clarify. I understand this photo now, Coffee. I didn't understand it earlier.
Yeah.
When you're having trouble with the Burger King
Yeah.
hat there.
So
Okay,
that's when
they
they made
have-
it down to the Walmart
Yeah,
bridge.
but I want you to cut to me in the wall, Tim. Is the camera correct or is it off?
There's
it's
a
too
few
low, isn't
things
it?
with that picture that are
I was going to
wrong.
explain why the Burger King hat is here.
It's
okay.
a towel.
Well, what I want you guys to understand is they have Impossible Burgers that are full of estrogen.
Oh, that's right.
And
See-
so when
see-
you go in there, you become feminized and retarded. And so when you come out, you want to wear that hat to
It's-
represent your indoctrination
Yeah.
It's
into
either,
the,
Uh,
to
With
the
a face diaper.
Zoom in on the
with the
Twitter.
face diaper.
Here's the
Zoom on the Twitter.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's right, the zoom on the Twitter.
it's
Hold your ear
either
and
fed
pop
boy
the fist.
cadets
That's awesome. So from now
that
on,
are earning their
when we go to
wings.
public speaking and you only have 3 minutes, they only give you 3 minutes.
Yep.
From now on,
Yeah.
when the timer goes off,
Hold your ear and
just
pump the fist.
go, wait, fight,
Yeah.
and then walk off the stage, because
Yep.
that's exactly what the true president, the man of the people, President Donald J. Trump did.
Yeah.
But even,
Yeah, it's
even Mark-
funny how
Even Mark Zuckerberg said that was
He was a badass. Yeah.
That's badass. Yeah.
it's funny how the KKK and the neo-Nazis, all of them have always been affiliated with the Democrat Party,
Yes.
never with the Republican Party.
Right.
But now, presidential election year is coming, and
We're all
all of a
Nazis.
sudden, the Nazis and the KKKers are coming out
I like that.
holding Republican flags.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's
all of a sudden.
Yeah, let's open this one up. I wasn't expecting to open this one, but I was scrolling down real quick, going through my bookmarks. This T-shirt has been going around for a while, and Tim,
Agreed.
Support
I got to buckle down and
the
work on
country
this
you live in.
because I really need to start producing some T-shirts here.
Or live in
Because
the country you support.
I know it's easier for people to help support what we're doing here at the show if they have something tangible. And we tried to do a couple T-shirts The Right to Right Drinky Drink T-shirts are still around.
Yeah, the site was temporary with
yeah.
the organization we did the shirts with,
So
it's
we
not
got to
up.
streamline it and do a little better job. But here's a great shirt that's been going around. There's multiple iterations, but the idea is the same. Support the country you live in, or live in the country you support.
Now, I will tell you, my liberal clients are working on passports, talking about where they're heading to come December.
Heard it before.
They are saying that, and I have said the same thing.
Yet to see it.
I heard that last time, and nobody left. So
yeah,
it's.
That would
I'm
be
also
such a
hearing a
blessing.
lot of I'm not voting. I'm hearing a lot of I'm not voting because they're super pissed about the fact that Kamala lied for the last 3.5 years and carried
cackled about it.
And that's the thing is they know he was not well going in because I pointed out to one of my clients the other day and she's not conservative.
Speaking of which, 2 articles of impeachment were
filed today.
Yeah. One is for her failure as the border czar. And we could play the clip of her in an interview and they say to her, well, have you actually gone to the border? Well, no, I haven't gone to the border, but I haven't gone to Europe either. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
So one article of impeachment for failure as a border czar, and the other article is what you're saying right now, Kelly, is failure to disclose the medical deficiency, whatever it is, of the current president.
I pointed out to my client, I'm like, he campaigned from a basement. He didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And they can tweak videos on YouTube. Super easy.
You just wait till they're out of office or something. All the books come out of the real stories.
That'll never be.
Oh yeah, people writing little books to make a buck or something, but it doesn't matter to these idiots. They'll still vote that way. They can be fucking jerked off every day for the next 6 months, and they'll still vote that way.
Did you just do that on my show?
Yes, he did.
Did you just do that?
The Theranos thing with that girl that got put in jail.
You were behind the computer. Patrick couldn't see him jerking off.
For fraud, for the blood typing. She worked with Epstein. Nobody talks about that. The Theranos thing, she worked with Epstein with that whole Theranos thing, but nobody talks about that. And they made a movie about that. So we only know that little piece of truth.
Yep.
Coffee, Democrats have no standards. Look at who they're running against, West Nicagary. They have no standards.
That makes me so sad.
They have a 22-year-old dude that identifies as a female cat and wears cat ears, and they're calling that a legitimate candidate.
Well, here's the problem with that I really feel sorry for Cat Dude. Those are friends. There's all the pictures of her friends and his Maxim's friends. But go down to Argentine Road or whatever, where all Wes's and Bob Dezats and everybody's big 4-foot signs are.
Yeah.
There's not one all the way down in one for Catboy. Why don't they chip in? They're friends. They're buddies.
Nobody supports it.
Well, they're saying they are, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no support in the community.
Why didn't he get a ride to the Brighton Parade? And people were telling me that they had to go way out and around because it was weaving down the freaking road on the bike. Why didn't they pick him up and give him a ride from M59 in Hartland to Brighton to do the parade?
Because just like the KKK and the neo-Nazis and all
this is a virtue signal.
And Greta Thunberg, the Catboy is our Greta Thunberg in our community, because that Greta Thunberg got up there and said, passionately, how you are ruining my childhood. This is an autistic, Greta Thunberg is an autistic child propped up by her liberal parents to be a token piece, given enough information to spew some diatribe about global warming, while the biggest corporations are the highest offenders, while China builds coal plants, a new coal plant once, more than one coal plant a week. Okay, they're finishing them. All right. And they're propped up by these people who just want to use them. All of you lefties out there propping up Cat Dude, you should have some huge amount of shame, but you don't.
Yeah,
you have an agenda.
There's only 10 of them, and they make up all sorts of fake accounts to make themselves seem bigger because they lied about how many people were disparaging the school board members by saying 40% when it was 10.
It was pointed out in the chat earlier that the one you guys mentioned lives in Oakland, doesn't even live.
She's school of choice.
Right.
Yeah.
And great. You want to school. The one thing that you don't do, I don't know.
If it's that bad, why are you your kid there?
Yeah. If you're going to do school of choice, then the last thing you do in school of choice is try to tell that school how to run their school.
Right.
You chose to be there. Shut the fuck up.
Literally chose.
Yeah.
Literally.
Isn't there schools in Highland?
I don't know.
Doesn't
knows?
Highland have
Yeah,
a
Highland
school?
does. Yeah, I've been
Why
there.
wouldn't you put your kids in Highland School? Where that swastika is, that's where you live, right? She lives in Highland,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
But that was Livingston County, remember?
No, not where she lives.
I know.
Well, here's the concern.
Oh, yeah.
Concern I have about the whole thing. I mean, I realize we poke fun at Cat Dude. Part of it is to expose to the community
How absurd.
about this guy, but I mean, he hangs out in the girls' bathrooms at a school, and he's an adult guy, and he hangs out in the girls' bathrooms at Hartland schools, and he's
Right.
got zero chance of being elected. Zero chance.
Unless they cheat.
No, you can't.
There's no way to cheat, not
Yeah,
here.
you can't
I
cheat.
know.
You can't cheat like that. But I mean, it's just he's probably going to lose by the most amount that anybody ever lost in Livingston County history.
I don't know.
He's
but
is he ready for that?
No,
Or-
I watched the
are
speech.
they-
I
are
watched
they
the speech last
poisoning
night,
it?
and I've gone to the commissioners, meetings, and I'm like, this cat cannot function at their level. There's no fucking way.
No,
There's no way.
And honestly, you guys know this behind the scenes, okay? And I'll give you guys out there in our audience some inside baseball, okay? Behind the scenes, I often caution. That's why I was at you. I think you guys both asked, "Can I say the name?" I caution people to not say people's names or to go after people personally. One, because I have a heart for people in general, and I understand that everybody struggles, and we want to call things out and bring attention to things that are not right. But at the same time, calling things out and bringing attention to it doesn't mean that we want to. I subscribe to Christ's concept of that if a person is genuine but misguided, you have to make that discernment.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "A bruised reed I will not break, or a smoldering wick I won't snuff out." And so you have to be cautious
Mm-hmm.
in those dynamics. You have to also be cautious in how you ascribe nefarious motives. There are many people out there that are just really, a lot of them are just hurting and misguided.
Mm-hmm. I
And so,
really think genuinely
absolutely.
this person cares about the community and the transportation, all of it. I know
and
they
is
do.
and is working hard. And
Yeah.
that's what my point is. Where's all these buddies
They
that
look-
love to get pictures and
Yeah.
stuff that are cramming them in them?
Correct.
Why aren't they out there going, let's get
And-
together
and
and get a couple 4x4 signs and put them at M23? And
I've
it's
only
fine.
seen one of his signs in somebody's yard.
The little yard sign.
Yeah, one little tiny yard sign on Reed Road in Heartland with this little cat ear emblem on it.
Yeah.
Well, and this is why I say this, and we've said it on multiple shows before, that my heart goes out because I think they're being used. I have an agreement with Larry about being in the bathrooms, but they're being enabled
Mm-hmm.
to be in those bathrooms. And I think they're being told, well, this is okay. You identify as this, so it's okay. Do I believe that what's the name? The current name?
Oh,
Not Max. It's
Ella.
Ella. I don't believe that there's that dynamic involved in this person. I think they're just a very disturbed person, and they're being told that, well, if you believe you're this, use that bathroom. Now, that's not to give an excuse or anything like that. It's unacceptable, but a person like that is being propped up by these other people surrounding them for their own agendas. And I find that to be the most despicable, disgusting aspect of the whole deal. Ella, I have a problem with, but I have more compassion than I have problem.
Mm-hmm.
The other people propping Ella up disgusts me, because you people know that person is hurting, that person is messed up emotionally, mentally, and probably puberty blockers, so physically. And you are promoting that to somehow pat yourself on the back that you helped somebody. The highest rate of suicide is in across the board is in the transgender community. They already have high suicide rates. They go through reassignment surgeries, and it is the highest suicide rate any demographic when you break it down into those dynamics,
Next
because
to
they are,
veterans, sadly.
huh?
Next to veterans, sadly.
Next to, well, but if you take them, if
PTSD.
you take the transgender community by what's the term, by
The volume and demographic.
correct. If you took 100,000 people of each group, they have more
Mhm.
per capita. That's
Per
the term,
capita,
per capita. They have more suicides per capita in their groups. And at a certain point, I want to go, what the hell is wrong with you?
Mhm.
The people propping this up, standing up behind it, feeling like they're doing something good.
Mhm.
We're trying to help. No, you
virtue
are
signaling.
abusers.
Mhm.
You are groomers. You are people that are complicit in destroying other people's lives. What I endeavor to do is to help people, to build people up, to help them find who they are, to help them build themselves. That's why sometimes it bothers me when we cite them or tease or even kind of, tack and poke fun. It just bothers me when we get a little bit over into it. And like I said, I'm giving you guys some inside baseball that we've talked off TV where I go, let's be cautious in doing that, because words have power.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather draw attention to actions and events and let our people in the audience know what people we're talking, they can figure it out for themselves and then deal with it. The issue for me is Ella needs to be approached personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make that a platform where we attack.
Yeah, no.
Right,
No,
but
see,
I'm
this-
saying
Yeah.
no. But I'm saying in general. But then the other people that are propping up Ella and acting like this is a normal thing,
Well, see, here,
those people need to be
I'm
called
not
out
gonna-
at certain points at school board meetings, at these other meetings, going, look, this person got up and spoke for 3 minutes, and half of that time was talking about how the colors of crayons in the box, that we don't need that many colors in a box of
Because
crayons,
the school
and
board
that
cares and has
and that
control.
and that the color chartreuse is just is way too much, and we shouldn't say chartreuse. There are too many colors in the crayon box.
He went on to say chartreuse isn't a real color.
but also to be fair, in that same 3 minutes,
But
it said, "I'm just joking."
But
But
his
it was like, wait,
but-
that wasn't
Okay,
funny. What
but-
are you
I think it
talking
was
about?
a point they were talking about. It was a point. I
Correct.
Yeah.
I get the point. It was lost on a lot of people because it wasn't a direct point.
No, it
So
was like,
But
what?
but it's also the dynamic of you have 3 minutes to get up and speak in front of a school board, and you are on a fringe side of issues, and you choose to take half your time and make a joke about colors in a crayon box.
Mhm.
If you really wholeheartedly believe in your issues, you stick to your topics, you bring a point home, you try to present a convincing argument. Now, I'm not trying to call that, I'm not trying to, I know you guys on the left tune into the show. I have no ill will towards you.
Mm-mm.
Ella's come up and hugged me at a school board meeting, asked if they could have a hug. And I said, absolutely.
Hitting on you.
Stop it.
It breaks my
handsome.
heart that there are people that are dealing with those types of life issues, and they get surrounded by other people who would rather act as enablers to their psychosis, to their issues, than tell them, honey, we need to get you into therapy. You need to sit down and have conversation. We need this. Also, it bothers me that we have this many people that are on the spectrum because we've been poisoned for the better part of 50 years, 60 years with the vaccine regimens that
And
we
that's
have.
by no single person's fault on their
Correct.
own.
Correct.
That's
We
the sad part.
shouldn't be dealing with the issue of, again, we shouldn't be
Fauci.
dealing with issues of the
He's
bathrooms.
one of them.
They shouldn't even be issues that we have to grapple
Modern
with
day mingle.
because, but our society has been poisoned. They're poisoned in the food. Our society is poisoned in our medical communities
Our
with
water,
vaccines and everything
our
like that.
air.
Our air, all these dynamics come together.
But Fauci was clearly, he was the poster boy for this vaccine thing, and the mask mandate. I mean, it's a classic thing, right?
Mhm.
The Fauci statement. It only stands to reason that if one mask works really well, 10 masks would be 10 times better.
Right. Exactly. And he was the one behind the whole AIDS epidemic. The
Yeah.
more that I discover about the AIDS epidemic and you find out that AIDS was not the boogeyman that we were told it was. That
They brought one of the monkeys over here to test on it, to spread it. They were testing on people and giving them, they
Correct.
were infecting them
correct.
with AIDS to see how it affected them.
Yes, but
Sickening.
the number one thing is when you find out that the number one killer was not AIDS.
Mm-mm.
It was the AIDS drugs that Fauci was the
Foresight.
head of and recommended.
Oh, what he did
Do you
to
know why?
orphans.
Do you know why Magic Johnson, who tested positive with HIV, is still alive today?
He didn't take the drugs.
He refused the drugs. Do you know why Freddie Mercury is the vast majority of the reason? It's in the biopic on the film, and it's
Took
true.
the drugs.
They put him on AZT, they put him on these other drugs, and that's what killed him. Same way with Fauci and people going into the hospitals during the pandemic, put him on remdesivir. What does remdesivir do?
That
In
was
clinical trials, it shuts down your kidneys within 3 to 5 days.
a whole year prior to
And
him mandating that.
Yeah.
They knew.
Yeah.
A whole year prior to that mandate. They killed one of the people that stepped up at the very beginning of all this to push back on what was going on. His wife got put in the hospital and they put her on remdesivir and murdered her. She had a 3-month-old baby.
Yeah.
It
It's
was
disgusting.
sick.
All right, guys, we're going to take our one and only break for the evening. Check out this great break media that Tim's put together for us, and we will be back after I refill my drink and we piddle.
Piddle.
A cowgirl's bathroom.
Piddle, piddle.
That's
Are you sure you can use it?
Give me a minute.
Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump, as in Donald the Bullet Dodger.
Why do they call him the bullet dodger?
Because he dodges bullets, Abby.
This is my brain.
Good evening. I just wanted to reiterate what I had sent most of you after last meeting so that there is clear documentation for those individuals and organizations who are interested in pursuing litigation regarding the shady basis for the bathroom policy, which is clearly being pushed through for no actual reason, proving to become a pattern in our district as you previously created school policy to strip supportive symbols, with the basis being that there was an alternative sticker, which is obviously proven to not be true. Side note, Blondell stated the quiet part out loud about 8805 on the podcast that it was actually about getting pride flags out of school. But anyways, Angela Yarber on October 28th, 23, on her campaign page posted an announcement that transgender students using the restrooms in Hartland schools is a huge safety issue and her slate's main agenda. There was little to no concern about transgender students using the bathrooms prior to this post. The emails and the social media posts clearly show how public outrage was drummed up by using misinformation and fear of rape and sexual assault as the motivator to rile her base into speaking out in support of it. After help from far-right political activists blasting calls to action around the state and Mr. Gogoleski urging the community to, quote, make noise about this on social media, the FOIA emails prove that only 10 actual parents emailed in support of this bathroom policy, and only 2 actual parents, one being Yarber, spoke out at the school board meetings in support. This is hardly the majority. And I want to point out that most of those communications parroted the exact talking points from Yarber's post. The basis of the bathroom policy is rooted in Angela Yarber's religious views, personal bias, and drive to win votes. This information and timeline I shared with you has also been shared with the ACLU, which is so concerned about the ongoing discriminatory situation in our district, they have written the board 3 times in the past 12 months. This information is also being shared with the Department of Justice regarding the ongoing hostile educational environment towards minorities. In an email, Mr. Gogoleski even acknowledged that creating a new bathroom policy will very likely land the district in costly court lawsuits, stating that he, quote, was certain that there will be endless litigation brought about on both sides of this debate, end quote. It is clear that they know this will land the district in court, but they are ready to waste the taxpayers' money. Lastly, Michelle Blondell, school board member, who has sat in on extremist meetings with Angela Yarber in the past, stated publicly last week that she went so far as to call the ex-Moms for Liberty Livingston County lead, Jennifer Smith, to try and figure out a current contact for local Moms for Liberty people in order to have them organize to push this bathroom policy through. It should be noted that Moms for Liberty is connected to dangerous groups such as the Proud Boys, which is extremely concerning considering the literal Nazi demonstration that we had in Howell this last weekend. So, but then again, you don't believe that racism is an issue in Livingston County anymore. So I guess
you have to address the board as a whole. Thank you. Next up, Amber Fry. Please.
Hi there. So, quick intro here. The 2023-24 Hartland Consolidated School Staff Survey provided these important stakeholders a chance to weigh in on what leadership is and isn't working within the district. Half of the comments written on that survey, 11 pages worth, revealed rampant and teacher dissatisfaction, especially citing clean slate school board members Gogolewski, Blondeel, and Keller. Not one comment was in support of these three board members. After reading these comments, I felt it was important their words be included in the public record. So to follow, here are some more staff comments. We're following up on our comments from the last board meeting. This is just a continuation. This is not repeating ourselves. These are other unread ones. So while differing perspectives are natural, it's essential to approach them constructively and professionally. Unfortunately, the hostile interactions and disrespectful behavior from certain board members and their supporters are unacceptable and counterproductive to our shared goal of providing quality education. This conduct creates an unsafe work environment and administration from focusing on student learning by forcing us to address unfounded criticisms and unreasonable requests. I feel supported by Mrs. Glayback, Mr. Costa, Mrs. Shaw, and Mrs. Coleman. However, I find the time-wasting problems, looking for a solution, self-indulgent, and selfish mannerisms of the board meetings themselves difficult to stomach. In addition, new policies being considered would make my everyday job more difficult to include all of my students, which is, in my opinion and experience, unethical, and the antithesis of purpose of the Board of Education. The lack of support is astounding. While I understand from their multiple declarations they were elected by the people, they were not elected to represent solely parents. Next, some members of the current school board have personal agendas and choose to ignore the opinions of teachers and school administrators. There is no attempt made by them to directly communicate with teachers or to create the opportunity for dialogue. Next, the other four board members have been supportive and an advocate of the work we do. Until the entire board as a whole decides to work together for the education of our students, the most important goal, and not for their own self-interest, it will continue to be the toughest to continue the excellence we have built over the last 3 decades. Next, while I am currently a satisfied and proud employee of HCS, I do fear the changes some of the BOE may make to this wonderful place if they were to get their way. Next, if we are not careful, I feel that we will damage what we have been working towards to become and maintain our status as a premier school district if the political agendas of some of the BOE members become reality. Next, I'm concerned with some of the comments some board members have made at board meetings. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you. First thing I want to start off by saying is that we do need a bathroom policy, that we need to keep our girls safe. And if there's extremists that want to keep pushing these far left agendas, let them push them in a different school district. This is Hartland, and these nutty San Francisco policies aren't welcome here. Now, it's come to my attention that a police report has been filed. Right, this police report that I'm holding was filed by a Deputy King. Right, a township school board member filed this police report. That would be on 6/25/24. So and it reads like this: I responded to blank in Genoa Township for a threats complaint. The caller, Cindy Shaw, identified herself as a Hartland School Board member and advised that there was a male, Larry Parsons, that would be me,
who was saying terrible things about her. The contact with Cindy Shaw at blank, I spoke with Ms. Shaw about her situation involving Larry Parsons. She advised me that Mr. Parsons had been responding to her Facebook posts in an unhealthy manner, and it was concerning. Per Ms. Shaw, the most recent responses, comments were the posts on her Facebook account, Cindy Shaw for Hartland Consolidated School Boards. Ms. Shaw said that the respondents' comments on her post from Mr. Parsons have been going on for over a year and a half, and that it had been to a point she felt necessary to contact police for a report. Ms. Shaw confirmed that none of the responses' comments were threatening and just him not agreeing with her stances. In the end, Ms. Shaw knew that Mr. Parsons was not doing anything criminal. She just wanted to finally document that something was going on. Ms. Shaw was given a business card and a complaint number of the report. And then after that, it's just contact with me where I state that I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. The school board members should know and understand that the police officers or sheriffs in this community work to protect the people from criminals, not waste public funds on vendettas. Shame on Cindy Shaw.
This is my brain.
The sound.
Okay.
There's the button.
There's the button. Table mics,
These
rail
things-
mic. We don't
things
need
are
rail
good.
mic.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting some brochin from dinner. All right,
And
let's
I
start
make
this
them
back.
shake.
Evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row.
Why
until
does
the
it
courts-
automatically do that when I try to open it up to play it?
And automatically plays?
No, it automatically unmutes it. I want to be able to pull it into the full screen without having it play so that I can then cue it up since we're still on the man cave shot.
I wish I could love Tulsi.
All right, let's do this. Let's do
Well,
this.
she's a beautiful woman.
I really do wish I could love her.
That's just
It's a
because the man
gorgeous
cave
man cave
shot
shot.
is
Frozen?
in OBS. No.
Oh, frozen.
In
Okay.
the
All right, now I'm going to restart this.
Right.
And
I'll get rid of your faces here, like that.
Could you imagine a
Great.
debate between Donald Trump and cackling?
System
We're gonna see
that is
it.
disproportionately
listening.
negatively
All right, let
impacting
me-
Black and brown people all across
Well,
this country
fucking,
today.
why is this being so difficult?
Because it's tech.
Okay, ready? And
Yeah.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively
only left
impacting
channel?
Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and
That's
that
only
she'll
on
be
our
a
channel? Is that
prosecutor
not turned
president,
down?
but I'm
Left
deeply
channel.
concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations
Might
and
be
then
my
laughed
monitor.
about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris.
I want to bring the conversation back to
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, Tulsi Gabbard is one of the only good things to come out of the Democratic Party, and she came out of the
Yes, she
Democratic
did.
Party. And she,
I wish I could
That was
love her.
intriguing.
yeah, that was good. What were you gonna say?
I said I wish I could love her.
Here's the border czar right here. Let's do this one because she's
We've
retarded.
been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
I'm sorry. I'm in
And I don't understand the point that you're making on border. We've been to the
Yeah,
border.
the frickin'
So
borders are dumbass.
this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
Neither have I.
I don't
I have.
understand the point.
I've been here.
So I got to point.
And I've been to the border.
I got to
Too
point this out.
Same.
This is one huge thing in communication that people don't always get. There are cues, there are signs, there are tells that people have. Her nervous laugh is a sign of stupidity and not knowing how to answer a question with intelligence. And she is called cackling Kamala on purpose because she tried to answer it with intelligence and the host refused to go along with it. And that short-circuited her. And her only response after that is to cackle and laugh. She tried to answer and say, well, no, I haven't been to the border, but I haven't been to Europe either. And he should have been, well, that's fair enough. I understand. You're just the border czar and you send people down there. I can understand that you've got millions that you've sent down there to report back to you and okay, we give you a pass. He didn't do it. And so all she could do was give her nervous, unintelligent, defensive laugh. And if you look at any videos of her, she's constantly doing that. That's why she's called cackling Kamala, because she only has that initial very vague frontal lobe answer in any given situation, and then it defaults to a fear tactic. I've met people. I don't know if you guys out there in the audience have ever met. You chime in on this real quick. If you've met people, I've met people in my life that their defense mechanisms was to laugh in extreme situations.
I laugh at funerals.
Larry's is the fart.
When
Larry
it's sad.
just farts for defense.
Yeah, I don't. Is that a defense, like a skunk?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets nervous. He farts.
I want to know if Larry were to get hit accidentally crossing the road in an inappropriate way, if it would smell like his farts. You know, like when you run over a skunk.
It smell like a skunk. Yeah.
Would it smell like? Would it smell like Larry?
I can't
farts?
believe we have
Smell like
digressed
leaks?
to talking
We
about
have
farts.
digressed to that.
It's coffee's fault.
You.
Totally coffee's fault. And for the record, I speak complete protection over Larry Parsons in all of his endeavors, especially because he rides a motorcycle, and that scares the shit out of me. All right, here's what we're gonna do, people. We're doing this right now. We're gonna go around the table and get this shit done. Let me see.
I just had a curious wild hair
Yeah,
before
yeah.
we did that. Vice President Kamala Harris attended Howard University, HBUC.
Howard the Duck University?
Undergraduate.
Okay.
She later attended University of California,
okay.
USC, Hastings College of Law, where she earned her JD. What the fuck is that?
JD?
Yeah.
General
Despite
degree? Junior degree?
Despite-
Judicial degree?
I don't know. Despite
that's probably it.
I don't know. Despite graduating more than 30 years ago, Harris continues to praise her expertise.
I would be convinced if she just earned a BS.
At
'cause
Howard,
that's what she
as
does.
one of the most important in her life. As she vies for the Democratic nomination for 2024 election. Learned later. Okay, so I was just curious where this bitch went to school. I just was curious. I was trying to figure out, I was trying to imagine her. Was she a sorority girl? Was, where did she,
She was Montel Williams arm candy, so I'm assuming she was
retarded.
putting her way through school by being.
So,
just wanted to point out that
University of
here at the
California
Man Cave
Hastings.
and on this podcast, we say gay and retarded. And what Tim is talking about is an essentially retarded person.
She takes pride in her educational journey. I don't understand why anyone who touts the prowess of wit and intelligent converse can praise any education whatsoever. I would be ashamed to be an alma mater of the school that she claims to be from.
Yeah.
Or an
Kamala
alumni.
Harris.
When we get
that
to
I'm-
JD Vance, I got something on the side.
Tommy Harris?
You're not going to slam Vance, are you? You're not going to slam Vance, are you?
She has.
I'm not gonna slam
listen.
Vance.
I've heard some rumblings about Vance.
I'm not going to slam him.
Hey,
Well,
I
listen,
cried. I
Vance-
cried at the end of the movie. I watched it the day I
haven't
heard
looked.
his name. Never knew where he came from.
I
Looked
bought
it
it
up
from the dollar
on
store.
Amazon Prime and watched that movie. I cried.
It
'Cause
spiked after he got the nomination.
It did
Well,
because his mother, as a bookkeeper and a housekeeper, like
You've earned this.
literally
You've earned
the
this,
spitting
Larry.
image of
Yeah.
my mother.
Yes.
So I really
Larry's earned it. Go ahead, Larry.
Sorry, go ahead, Larry.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And action.
JD Vance, and this isn't slamming him, it's the truth. He is a reformed never Trumper. He was
Absolutely.
a huge never Trumper.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
But
that's
that
what we're going
is-
to go with.
That is past tense.
Uh-huh.
Past tense.
And
He has
yes,
seen the light of day.
and you're correct. He has seen the light of day. He is a past tense never Trumper. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yes.
However, he has looked the other way for the trafficking of money and human beings through the Ukrainian cartel that runs through Ohio. He has not passed a single policy that has done anything for parents' rights because there are multiple. Well, there's one specific lawsuit that's sitting in SCOTUS right now. He hasn't propped it up at all. He hasn't done anything to pass any kind of legislation of any sort that actually helps conservative policies in the state of Ohio. So there's that.
This is a country bumpkin. Give him a break.
Okay, we're going to go back to where he's from and
Yeah.
his nice words and how he's reformed.
No,
However, his policy and
Yeah.
his funding is not savory.
No,
On
it's
top
not.
of the fact
It's
that
not
he
advanced.
is
That's what I'm
now in a situation where he's graduated from Harvard Law. Guess who his tutelage was once he graduated from Harvard Law and went to work at his law firm? Guess who was right above him? Guess who taught him? Big Mike. Just saying, they all run in the same circles. They all play together.
Big Mike. You mean Obama?
So do you think it was a better or worse pick than Pence?
Yes, Mike Obama.
I think he is
Michelle.
Pence. Point
Okay.
2.0, younger version.
Okay.
I'm just clarifying. I'm asking.
Yeah, Big
Who's
Mike.
Big Mike?
Michelle
Michelle
Obama.
Obama.
Well, didn't the newscaster just call her Big Mike?
No, I know you were saying a joke. I was just trying to clarify.
Yeah, Big
Yeah,
Mike.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, if we're gonna prop
It's-
somebody up, let's
At
prop them
Harvard.
up on policy. Let's prop them up on what they've actually done.
yes.
When they haven't done anything and they haven't passed any policy that benefits anyone in their realm, that's a problem. I'm sick of kind
And-
words. I'm sick of soft words.
True.
I don't give a shit what your background is if you're not doing your job as a representative.
And I
Okay.
think
That's where we're at.
this is the number one thing that we need to continually do is examination and discourse, and we give people a certain understanding of, or I tend to give people a certain caveat or understanding that you're on a journey. Okay, you can grow, you can be misled, you can be there, but are you growing? Are you going? I think time will tell on people like JD Vance, on people like Vivek, on people that are up and coming in this, because they have had organizations. But we had to vet out that Trump had photos with Epstein and never went to the island and kicked him out of
Correct.
Mar-a-Lago.
Correct.
He's donated to multiple campaigns, including Hillary's campaigns, including a multitude of Democrats.
Mhm.
But the reality is you can't operate in a lot of cities and get things passed if you don't glad hand with people.
Mhm.
Which
Like
is
Stacy
amazing
Shaw
that
working with the PAC.
which is amazing that they've never gone after him for donating to certain political officials in certain cities as a form of bribery
Mhm.
to get permits passed in those cities. And yet they try to go after him for all these other things. You know why? Because it would implicate them as
Right.
well.
Right.
And I'm not saying that he did anything wrong with that. You play the game. You do it. All right, let's do this. We're gonna.
I know you're trying to transition, but I got a
Uh,
question because Vance came up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's my question. And I know you're always a stickler about this whenever I try to talk. Don't turn on my fucking webcam. So I'll
Turn on
do
your
that.
webcam.
I'm looking for it. You put the button like hidden in here.
I
Okay,
did.
so here's my thing about Vance, and this is all fucking bread and circus. Politics is bread
Yes,
and circus.
absolutely.
Okay, here's what I love about Vance, because of where he's coming from and what he knows and how he's connected to Americana. What annoys me, and I'm not trying to instigate, but what annoys me in your criticism is saying, okay, if not Vance, who brings all of these different things that are like, when you see him for the first time and don't know who he is, there's a lot to digest, and then there's a Ron Howard movie made after this, kid's life. It's like there's a lot there.
He's CAA. I know.
No. But understand, for the first time, for the general public seeing him for the first time, or not knowing who he is, the middle of the road voter, somebody who doesn't really get into the nitty gritty, deep political understanding of policies and efficacy at the federal level that you might. There's so much there for the circus side of this game of politics. For Vance is a great pick. Because there's so much there to digest and to entertain the public with.
And that's how pedestrian the American people are.
Who the fuck cares?
I do, because
Well, you
I
do,
don't
but
want
yeah,
a
you're the
vice president
3%
that's going to be
majority.
the
You're the
president
3%.
if my president gets shot.
That's great. That's
I
great.
don't want a vice president
But-
that has no foreign
That's
policy
great.
ability.
Right. That doesn't affect 97%
You're
of the voting
correct,
public.
because we are all pedestrian in
Yes,
America.
that's
We
great.
go
How
only with
effective
the
is your
surface.
argument?
So can we
Zombie
not go
lands.
down this road and get
Zombies.
Yeah, no, that's great. But no, my question is asking how effective is your argument if it's only going to affect 3% of
it's
the public?
effective to bring attention to something that we need to be cautious with, the
hope-
same that we need to be cautious with Trump when he
Right.
approves warp speed
Yes.
and Fauci's allowed to come in and give vax.
Exactly.
Remdesivir
I would
to
love
everybody.
to entertain those arguments, but this is a new presentation of a new person.
When I come in on Vance, I'm hoping to breach through that small mind. I'm hoping to expand a mind.
Okay, can you agree that only affects 3% of your voter?
Yes,
At
but I'm
most.
hoping at this point, we're at that teetering edge where there's more than 3% that hear it.
Okay.
I'm hoping. I have faith that we will come out of this on the other end, but I worry about the bloodshed between.
That's fine. Then, if not Vance, who else? And I know you have no answer to that.
I do have an answer to that. Ben Carson would have been an excellent pick.
Ben Carson would have been
He
excellent.
would have been an excellent pick.
Ben
Ben
Carson
Carson
Does Ben
is.
Carson have a Ron Howard movie?
Who fucking cares?
97% of the voters.
Which is why we're pedestrian and we keep ending up
That's
in the
great.
same place we're
We can
in.
insult 90% of the voters. That's fine. It's okay.
It's not insulting. All right.
I was
I was
hoping
trying
he
to
was-
go to something else, but my show got hijacked as usual.
I was
Sorry.
hoping he was
Um,
going to pick Glenn Youngkin.
It intrigued me.
Oh,
It just intrigued me.
He'd have been
Yeah, well,
what would you
could have
like
been
to
done
talk
off air.
about, Jeremy?
As soon as the show done, everyone leaves.
Just signal them out, man. I want to be an umpire.
I wanted to have fun on the show and sometimes it's trying, guys.
Hey. Jeremy. Coup d'etat. It's French
Or coup d'etat.
for coup d'etat.
Isn't the other one?
I like examining all of the candidates and seeing all of the situations that are in their life to infer that by examining their life somehow that is inappropriate. I think suppresses the dialogue, the conversation.
You had a chart up there. What was
I did have a chart up here. I wanted to have fun with it.
Okay.
And I guess I got to figure out how to push my buttons on this and go around the table. Let's see. Wall feed.
Copy just asked is what's a coup de grace? I think
No,
that's
there
like
isn't
I don't know.
There's-
You're going to have to look that up.
There's two, like what hit his word, and then there's one like the final killing thing, and then like the final
A coup de grace is a culmination. It's the end. It's the grand finale. It's,
Right.
It's the
Well, what's his word? The same
a
thing?
coup d'etat.
Is a-
Okay,
is a-
see,
yeah.
there's
is a
close.
takeover.
Okay.
They're
All right.
French.
Yeah.
Let's do
they're both
this.
French.
21 questions the American people have in regard to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump for the Secret Service and the FBI for Monday's hearing. Hosted by Owen Schroyer of InfoWars. He has the War Room from 4 to 7. How many shots were fired? Number one, how many shots were fired by the shooters and by the Secret Service? That's number one question.
Did they answer that?
Huh?
Did they? They
No,
never
these are the
answered
questions.
that.
We're asking the questions.
Okay.
Mr. Coffey, number 2.
What time was each shot taken?
What time? Patrick, number 3.
What are the lines, trajectories of the bullets for each shot taken?
Yeah, these are
Oh.
questions we have.
How many bullets were recovered?
Yeah, how many bullets were recovered? Larry, number 5.
Number 5, how many
casings on the roof.
How many casings? What they're claiming 8 shots where there are 8 casings that were recovered from the roof. Number 6, what is the exact type of gun that was used, the exact specs, and can we see it?
An F-16.
An F-16. That's what you're going to have to, because Biden's going to take over. Number 7, Mr. Coffee there.
What purchases had the shooter made in the last 14 days in regards to explosives or firearms?
That is a very good
Very good
question.
question.
Patrick, number 8.
What was the exact time the suspect was first known to security?
Ooh, and there's many reports coming in that they saw him all day long.
Yeah.
Using a rangefinder, doing all sorts of stuff. Kelly, number 9.
Why did it take so long for the shooter to be neutralized despite roof location and gun being known for multiple minutes?
Interesting. Why did it take so long?
Did you see the video of the window? Like literally there's a window that looked right there.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Larry, number 10.
Number 10. Why was Trump still on the stage despite unknown threat? I was having problems getting.
I get that. In one of his latest interviews, he said that. In fact, he said, had I been informed that there was a threat, I wouldn't have taken the stage. I would have waited till the threat was neutralized.
Well, they didn't want to inform him about the threat.
Exactly. Number 11. What is the pattern of communication in regard to the shooter's whereabouts, and can we get access to that audio with timestamps?
Who was responsible for security detail that day?
You know what? They've gone back and forth and saying, "Well, we defaulted to this person." You're in charge. Patrick, number 13.
Who gave the security assignments and when?
Very good questions. They were not answered by the former head of Secret Service, as she resigned today after giving mostly bullshit testimony. Number 14, Kelly.
Why was no one on the roof or have eyes on the roof where the shooter was located?
Interesting question. Larry, number 15.
Number 15. Did any security agent take fire?
The people that are called and are responsible to get in the line of fire.
I don't think any of them
for
had
their
lighters.
client.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trained to take a bullet for the commander in chief or whoever they're protecting, right? Did anybody actually take fire? Because we have one gentleman that was killed and 2 other people that were severely injured that are in recovery now. So we'll see how that works.
But none of them were Secret Service agents.
Oh,
which probably knew about the threat.
Yeah. Number 16, is there any security footage from him leading up to the shooting? Home Depot, gas stations, buildings around the rally, any security footage? Can we see it? Actually, there is a ton of footage. I've seen some of it leading up to that. Number 17, Mr. Coffee.
What vehicles did the shooter have access to or use 14 days prior?
That's an interesting question. I mean, we know that the Uvalde shooter had been called out, I think, 80 plus times to, or been notified that many times before he walked into a school. And then cops stood down while they used hand sanitizers. And a mom actually broke into the back door and rescued her 2 kids after being handcuffed on the curb for 40 minutes because she talked sympathetically to an officer who finally released her from the handcuffs. And then she snuck around and got her own kids out. Those stories go by the wayside. We're just going to focus on getting rid of guns. What number are we on, Patrick?
16, I believe.
Nope, I did 16. 18.
18. Who was the shooter in contact with the last 6 months, with emphasis on the last 14 days and day of?
Interesting. Number 19, Kelly.
19, that's done.
Has anyone been fired? Well, we know Kim Cheadle has resigned, so
Mhm.
I don't have to finish that one.
Yeah. Well, today's the 23rd. This is from the 21st.
Right.
Yeah. So this is just, she has resigned now, and good riddance to bad rubbish. Larry, number 20.
Why were unqualified security agents on Trump's detail?
What do you mean unqualified? Like people that don't know how to holster their gun?
Oh.
And are a foot shorter or more
Well, what do you mean?
than their charge?
Well, what do you mean? Why would I have to be big enough to block a bullet?
Because that's your job.
But then
We got the bottom.
But that's not fair.
That's your fucking job.
But that's not fair.
Number 21, to finish off this list from Owen Schroyer of InfoWars. Who is in charge of collecting evidence and autopsies, and when will we hear from them? I haven't heard anything about evidence gathering. All we've heard about is this other minutia being touted out there and put out there. So I don't know. I just don't know.
All these questions can be answered. Do you ever see the documentary on the Lockerbie shoot down? Remember the Lockerbie that got shot down?
Yep.
They solved where that bomb came from a little wire fragment that they found that was only in a special radio.
Yeah.
And then they tracked where all the radios were sold to, and they tracked it to that little Libyan village or something. And so all these questions are easily answered.
They are easily answered, but we keep what we want to do is play this parlor game where we move the chess pieces around and don't pay attention. This guy right here, he's a stellar person. This is what's going on right now. We call this a coup d'état. It's French for coup d'état. But this is what happens when you go into work on Monday and you find out you've been fired. That's the look that you get right there.
He was sharp as
attack.
Yep,
They said sharp as attack for multiple months.
Yep.
Sharp as attack. But you know what? Turns out not so sharp after all. Not quite the tack that they thought he was. So there's that guy.
Is there any truth? I heard that Candace Owen has actually signed a $25 million contract to take over the time slot for The View. They were going to do away with
I
The View.
saw something, but I didn't investigate it. I saw that post. I haven't investigated it though.
I haven't seen anything since then.
Anything going on in chat there, Mr. Coffee, before we move on to the next thing?
Who knows? So K-Sub's got people going. Yes.
Oh yeah, K-Sub's always spicy in the chat. Man, that person is just fiery. I mean, watch out.
People start arguing.
K-Sub will get you.
Somebody said that Vivek's kid, or one of JD Vance's kids, is named after Vivek, and I basically just said I had heard that JD's wife is cousins to Vivek Ramaswamy.
Okay,
that would be cool.
I don't know if it's true, but
that would be cool
I had
if it
heard
was.
that they're related.
Definitely looks that descent or race or
Well,
whatever.
they are. They're from the same. Yeah, not ancestral, but
I like Vivek. We got to meet him. Remember?
I like him.
Great.
I like him as well. Very sharp.
Yeah,
very sharp. It was reported this way. I don't have it pulled up right now, so don't take this as absolute truth. But about a week and a half ago, before Biden was surreptitiously resigned. What did he do? Oh, he put it out on a non-letterhead with a signature that doesn't match, non-White House letterhead that doesn't match his signature. His signature doesn't match on non-letterhead paper saying, I'm not going to accept the nomination. After he said multiple times he was staying in, he was staying in, staying in, staying in, staying in. Either way, they suspended about $150 million, the reports that I heard, $150 million of campaign financing. And lo and behold, within 2 days of Kamala, what the fuck's her name?
don't say it wrong.
Kamala.
Oh, my bad. I keep
Camilla.
saying it wrong.
Kamala.
Let's get ready for this. Mr. Coffee, somebody on one of your whacked out right-wing pages had this. Get ready for camel toe. This is apparently a quote. I don't know if I believe this one, but who's got the best? Kelly, do you have the best, or I got to do the best Kamala Harris voice?
Man, you can do it.
I don't know if I can do it.
We must come together because together we will come. Coming on each other will come naturally. Coming with each other will be forthcoming. Once comers come, they will come in unison, and we will all have come as one.
That's what she said after the awards show when she was arm candy for what's his name?
She actually
Willie
said
Brown?
that shit.
Not Willie
No,
Brown.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, Kelly, did she really say that
I
shit?
believe so. Yes.
No.
She sang
That
the
is-
wheels on the bus as she walked out the door this morning.
Dude.
So
Dude, this
she
chick.
literally walked
This-
out the door of a building and was like, the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Oh my
I
God.
listened to a whole montage of her.
Did you hear her ridiculous statement about something forward and
Yes, that's what I was
being
gonna say.
obstructed
Yes.
by the past. Or it's like
We can
what a
move
flippin'
forward
idiot.
without being obstructed by the past. And literally, Infowars, Owen Schroyer played a whole montage. Their team played a whole montage. And he's like, this is not repeating. We haven't repeated any of these. These are all her. And she's going, and we can move forward without being hindered by what is behind. We can, it just, it was
Word
just
salad.
this weird.
She's not well liked. So
Mm. Dude, I had this pulled up. I gotta find it.
Kelly, let me ask you this. This is a serious question.
Yeah.
They're always talking about like election times. Well, they got to win over the college-educated women in the suburbs. I'm like, who are these women? Are they so stupid that they can't see that side isn't going to help their cause? Who is that package of? They always say that the college-educated suburban women. I'm like, that sounds like stupid people. And
A piece of paper doesn't mean you're smart.
well, I know that, but how can you be college-educated, a suburban housewife or woman or whatever with kids or whatever, and think that this is good for you? Your bottom line, I don't get it.
Well, and I don't want to
they
disparage
believe what
anybody
the
who's
news
worked hard and earned degrees. Patrick
No,
has
no,
a number
no.
of degrees, but I used to have a buddy of mine that would say, you earned a degree. Okay, let's focus on the other 359 degrees until you come full circle into who you are. And that's not to disparage the vast majority of people that go out and earn degrees. But the point he was making to me and a few inside people were that earning a degree, don't put that up as your only achievement. Let that be the backbone or an accolade to a life lived. And that's why I make a caveat for Patrick, because him and I have had public and private conversations about the things he's witnessed and achieved and how he took departments from really tiny budgets to being explosive. And so there are dynamics of when you earn a degree, that's just your inroad to doing the work. And then the work proves it out. And so there's a lot of people that go and get a degree and then they never
Go any further,
or they never do anything with that is of significance. They've just got the degree and they tout the degree over and over and over and over again. But when you can tout the work that the degree opened the door for, that's real. That work dynamic, that achievement dynamic, If I didn't know that Patrick had a degree in a certain thing and he told me he joined a department and took that department from virtually nothing to being a multi-million-dollar revenue stream every year upon year before they forced him out. And then he says, oh yeah, and I had a degree. That's how come, I was able to step into those roles because I had achieved this and this and this academically. Then I achieved this in the real world. No, but I'm saying is I'm giving accolades to Patrick as a real world because I don't want to disparage anybody for having a degree and achieve things out there and think I'm doing that. But you've got multiple people that they think because they got a degree that's the end all be all. That's the shingle you hang up is I got a degree. Okay. Do you have real world experience? Do you have, I find it funny that a Bachelor of Science is also synonymous with bullshit.
My mother-in-law has a degree, but she started on the line, worked her way up, and then took supply chain management
Correct.
while she raised 4 kids.
And that's
became
commendable
VP
and
of the
phenomenal. And what did she do with it?
She became VP. And then when the company...
Achievement.
Yeah.
So she would tout
retired.
the achievement. Somebody introducing her in front of on a stage would say she achieved a Bachelor of Science degree in such and such and such and such, but they're bringing her on the stage because of her actual achievements in the real world. And I think that's when we look at some of these candidates out there and some of these people out there, it's like, what have you achieved? I think that's what you're trying to point out. With JD Vance is like, what have you actually done? I understand that you're there. I understand this like that, but and we're hoping.
I hope he's a great guy. I really do.
Yeah, and I'm praying beyond, not beyond, but above. There are 2 things that I'm praying for President Trump continually, and I hope our audience is doing, or I would encourage our audience to do the same. Protection and wisdom. Franklin Graham prayed it.
Yeah.
He prayed for wisdom for President Trump. And he didn't get specific in it, but I'm praying for President Trump to have wisdom in picking his cabinet members and the people underneath him, because
get rid of the dead weight that's going to take him in the wrong direction.
exactly. And
I
that
think he
takes
will.
some discernment.
I
And
think he
here's a caveat too, guys. I want to point this out. Jesus knew who Judas was from day one when he picked him. Just because you do have wisdom, and I'm praying for wisdom for President Trump, as much as I pray for wisdom for everybody here, but those are my two specific prayers for him when the Lord brings into my remembrance. Praying for wisdom. I also understand that there are times in your wisdom, God will have you choose people that can undermine you and threaten you. Because you know what? It accomplishes a purpose.
Well, yeah, Matthew 25, I just read that.
Yeah.
And Jesus knew that he was going to betray him.
Exactly. Well, and not only that, when you truly take a look at the life of Judas, nobody else knew. He didn't look like a bad guy. He was part of the money changers, but he didn't, or not money changers. He kept the purse the collective purse. And there was so much money in there that he could steal he could embezzle money out of it without being noticed. But that wasn't his problem. And then he watched Jesus walk through the crowds multiple times and not get arrested. And then Jesus says, you're going to lose your job. Well, here's a guy that's all about the money. Well, not all about the money. When Jesus sent them out 2 by 2, he was praying for the sick, raising the dead, and preaching the gospel too. There's no indication in the 4 gospels in our canon of scripture that indicate that there was anybody that was aware of his nefarious activities, right? And therefore, when he finally does it, it says that he says, well, what would you give me money-wise? And we always tout Judas as this horrible example. This is a desperate person who was always that person. He never changed. That's part of his problem. He never changed, and he was always that person. And when Jesus said, you're going to lose your job, what are you going to do about it?
Find an element.
Not Judas. He was used to that money changer. And
That's
he
what
said,
he
you know what?
wanted.
He said, you know what? I've watched this guy walk through crowds multiple times, and the chief priests unable to arrest him. How do I deal with this? I will betray him, and he'll walk through the crowds just like all the other times before. This is the reasoning in his mind. You know why? Because when it says in the scriptures, go look at some gospels, it says when he was betrayed, when he saw that Jesus was betrayed to death, he threw the money back in the temple and went and hung himself. So this is a person that never went through a process of changing and growing and becoming his better self. And he stayed in that mode for 3 years of being comfortable with whatever process he was in. And I submit to you that the vast majority of the people out there that we struggle with, why can't they see this? Why can't they see that? They're comfortable in their position and never challenge themselves to be better. And those are the type of people that most of the time unwittingly will betray you in your most difficult hour. And it's not because they're these horrible, demonic, wicked people. We have horrible, demonic, wicked people, right? We have the Clintons, we have the Obamas, we have the George Soroses, we have the Klaus Schwabs. We have people that are legitimately horrible and wicked that mean us harm and want to destroy humanity, okay? But the vast majority of people out here that facilitate evil, or at least turn their back when evil is perpetrated, are people that just they're comfortable, and they're not willing to grow into a place of loving humanity and loving on people the way they should. There, I'll get off my soapbox. All right, let's go to this. I got a graph here. Graph.
Oh.
Let's see this. This is from the 2020 presidential debate, or not debate, the 2020 Democrat
primary election.
You can see there, the former vice president gets 23. I'm looking at this list. I see Biden. I see Sanders. I see Pocahontas.
Mm-hmm.
I see the left-wing media magnate. I see Butt Judge. Took off 3 months because him and his partner had a kid.
Booty juice.
You
Booty
said
juice.
his name wrong. It's Booty Gig.
Oh, he's getting a gig for the booty?
Booty Gig.
A booty gig. Okay. Amy Klobuchar, which who even remembers
She's
Amy?
gone now, isn't she?
Klobuchar. Tulsi Gabbard, again, best thing to ever come out of the Democratic Party because she came out of the Democratic Party.
Yes.
She left the plantation.
She left the plantation. So 2 for Gabbard, 5 for Klobuchar, 15 for butt judge.
Booty gig.
Booty gig.
Booty gig.
Butt gig. Okay. Bloomberg, Pocahontas, Bernie the socialist Sanders, and the former vice president, the usurper in chief. I'm looking at this right here in 2020. This is from the Democrats.
I don't see Harris.
This is when they voted and gave out delegates for the nomination. So this would have been the Democratic National.
Do you see
Convention.
anything that it doesn't? It doesn't see Harris.
I don't see
Kamala.
I don't see
Cackler. Nothing.
No camel toe.
I don't see a
No camel
Harris in
toe.
there anywhere, and I'm just.
Because you're a racist.
I am a racist. Help me. I'm confused on this because I mean,
I'm a racist. I grew up at Detroit Dragway.
What?
That's exactly right. These are the dynamics.
Is that what a racist is? When you go to the track and
Well, you guys did
you're
hear
driving a
that.
race car,
If
you're
you
a
have,
racist?
if you guys did hear that, if you have any
You're an
problems
asshole.
with, but, I mean, this is official
But that's
media
not what
talking
racist
points.
is.
Shut up, racist. This is official media talking points that if you disagree with Harris for any reason,
You're racist.
You're
you
right.
are a racist.
Yeah.
Even though we've noted already in the show, she's locked up more black people and prolonged their sentences than anyone. And I didn't point this out when we were pointing out when Kelli was pointing out her actual ineligibility to be president, which I'm sure they'll mask over and not fight about. I believe it was her grandparents
Mm-hmm.
in Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
who owned black slaves.
Yeah. They did.
So when anybody out there talks about reparations for the black community,
Your VP would be one.
your VP would actually be one. Owning slaves. My ancestors, the Soikas, Bravanovics, Jaskowskis, and Brandenburgs, immigrated over here in the 1880s, 1890s. Legally immigrated for a better life. I've never spoken a true Polish dialect word in my life in a sentence other than to say, what the hell is a Davenport or a babushka, grandma, right? So when they look at me because I'm white, even though Kamala's extremely white compared to just about a lot of other black people out there, and they go, reparations. I go, you know what? Go get it from all the people that actually own slaves. And you know what you'll find out? Black people own slaves. Jamaicans own slaves. And as Elon Musk pointed out, if you go back long enough in history,
There were slaves of every color.
everybody's been
background,
every
creed.
ethnic group has been a slave of
Been a
somebody
lot
at
of
some time.
Irish slaves.
Yeah, my family came over indentured servants. That's the same thing.
Yep. Well,
You're working off a debt.
the English word slave
Slavs.
comes from the Slavs,
The
the Slavic
Slavs.
people.
Mhm.
I am Polish, Czechoslovakian. Of those are my biggest ethnicities. Polish, Slovakian, Slavs. You know, what are you looking at? Coffee. What's going on in chat?
Chat.
How's everybody doing?
It's all right. He was
all right.
leaning back.
When we
Relaxing.
come together, because together we will come. Coming on each other will come naturally, and we will all come.
At each other.
I am Kamala Harris. She, her. I
She,
am in
her,
a
they, them,
blue suit.
and with
With the knee pads.
with
knee pads. Wasn't she wearing the double mask at that time?
Yes.
Ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. Coup d'etat is French for coup d'etat.
Who did that?
That's funny.
Articles of impeachment. Oh, I covered articles of impeachment. I covered the $81 million that mysteriously showed up. $150 million suspended from the Biden campaign. Not suspended. The donors said and cut it off.
Put a lock on it.
And then Kamala announces, oh, she's going to do it. Or Biden says he's going to resign, and Kamala steps up. And then miraculously, within like 24 hours,
She said it was
Can I tell you
all
my theory?
small.
tell your theory.
Said all small donors. You got to believe her.
Yeah,
Okay.
small
Yeah,
donors,
I've heard
$81
that,
million
yeah.
is small. Go, Cal.
These are my conspiracy theories. Okay, so
I cautioned you about this already, but
I know. So theory number one. She's going to go into convention. They're going to be like, Here's your VP pick. It's going to be a Clinton or a Newsom. And then Boeing is going to happen. And all of a sudden, Clinton or Newsom are going to have to say, oh, well, we're the running mate now. We got to pick a VP. Because they're going to Boeing her or they're going to MAGA her. They're going to find some poor schlump. They're going to turn
take
into
her
a
out.
and she'll be bye-bye because nobody really wants
So
her.
here's the
So that's
question.
theory one.
Okay, theory one.
How many theories you
So
got?
so
Three.
theory one is that they're going to take her out.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to jump on this real quick and go around the table. Is Biden still alive?
I don't think he is.
I've heard of rumors that no, he's not.
Larry? Biden still alive?
I think it's a mask.
I believe he's still alive.
Because you heard the so
We haven't
the
seen
Did you
one.
hear about
He
Las
hasn't-
Vegas?
You would think he would have
Did I
gotten
hear
up and
about
given a speech.
Yeah. So Larry
I
said,
did not. I was
Larry-
told about it, but I didn't hear about
so Larry called me today and he said, yeah, but he appeared on Fox. So he called into Fox
it. Right.
and I listened to
Did
an AI analysis. A guy who ran the voice through an AI analysis
It was AI.
came back 98% that it was probably 98% probability that it was an AI voice.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me.
And Kamala
That
trips
nothing
up
would
and almost says,
nothing
as the recording,
surprises me.
are you still there? Is the recording, Joe, are you still there? She slipped up and almost said the recording
Yeah.
because she knew it. Coffee,
I
alive
think
or not
he's-
alive?
I think he's still alive.
You think he's still alive?
Yeah.
I think that his body doubles are still alive and kicking,
Agreed.
and they're going to tout him around. I watched the movie Dave.
The Master of Disguise. The Master of Disguise. You remember Turtle? The Master
Yeah.
of Disguise. Okay.
You're not
so,
cool enough for the Turtle Club.
Yeah, you're not cool enough for the Turtle Club. So there is this woman who did an interview years ago, and she was the head of one of the disguise departments, and like she sat down with George Sr., Bush Sr., and was like in a mask. He had no idea she was not who she was.
Right.
He thought that's how realistic, and this was like 40 years ago. That's how realistic
Mhm.
the masks were.
Have
Now
we
they have a
not
thing-
watched Mission Impossible
They have a
for the
product
last?
called Second Skin.
Yeah.
Think about movies like Face Off.
That was great.
I love that movie. But what
That
about what about Mission Impossible?
Uh-huh.
The first movie and all of them, well, not all of them, but the majority of those movies all have at some point Tom Cruise
In a face.
in a face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally plausible. And the guy that walked off the plane today was a little more robust in the belly than the last time I saw Biden.
And didn't take
So,
a single question, just looked at people.
nope.
Maybe
That
he's
is a
pregnant.
tough. Well, Biden has done this, and I'll give it that. But when there's a telltale sign that you don't answer questions, that's it. Look at.
Can't
I'll go
mimic the
back,
voice.
guys. Go back and watch the movie Dave. Okay, in the movie Dave,
Boy, I haven't seen that.
they
in a long time.
they get this guy that does impersonations of the president, and they hire him for parades and store openings and stuff like that, and they bring him out. The president has a stroke, banging his mistress. It's reminiscent of Kamal. I don't know why. But, and then they tout him out there, and they say all you have to do
Knee
is
pads.
come out there, wave, and then get in the car. And he walks and he waves, and then he turns around. Or no, he's not even supposed to wave. He's just supposed to get off the plane or something like that and walk to the car. And he stops and he waves and says something, just a couple lines. And they freak out on him. They're like, dude, you don't ever do that again. This is unacceptable. All you are is a body double so that we can get, so that the president is seen doing activities. And the videos I've seen, there was a guy and he's walking normally and he's doing like this, and he turns around like this and sees that there's a camera on him, and he immediately slows right down into a shuffle walk. And then they say, Mr. President, Mr. President. He goes,
I saw that.
I can't really talk right now. And walks into a hotel or whatever it was.
Yep.
I believe he's already completely incapacitated.
Didn't Gerald Ford call it? He said to a little girl who said she wanted to be president one day. And he said, in the future, there will be a female president, but she will become president. When male and female president and vice president, the female will be the vice president, get into office, get elected into office. This is the way that the female will become president, is when the president dies, she will take over. Gerald Ford called that.
He called it?
He called
well, that's
that.
House of Cards. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Netflix House of Cards is to take, the president gets
It's almost
taken
like
out.
a script.
Well, I've been telling
Almost like a
people
script.
for years, Biden's not going to finish his first term. I predicted that, before he even got elected.
Conspiracy theories again, Larry.
No, see, here's the thing. Kamala Harris is impeachment insurance. Nobody was ever going to impeach Joe Biden.
As long as Kamala was there, because
as long as
that's what you end up with.
Kamala was there.
Hence
yeah.
why I believe
That's-
that they're going to try to take her out in some way, shape, or
But
form.
if what I said comes true, Kamala gets to run as an incumbent. It's not going to help her any. It's not because she's still tied. She's still the border czar. She's still tied to all of Biden's policies. And, Biden has the excuse of dementia, right?
Right.
What's Kamala's excuse? She can't use dementia.
She's just dumb.
Yeah.
So fucking dumb, dude.
The bottom word.
Retarded.
Slow and hindered.
There you go.
Right. So,
Can't move forward.
Kamala has no excuse. Biden has but in
The
either
abusive
case, in either case, Obama's behind the scenes.
For sure.
Well,
He's
he
dead.
wanted
He
to
is the puppet master.
He's
Yeah,
flat
wants-
out sad.
He wanted to
sweats
run
in
his
an
third
earpiece.
term
Yeah.
from the basement.
And it's like the Democrats have been lying to the American people, lying to the Democrat base.
Mhm.
They've been lying to the media. The media is lying to the people, and they've this big cover up of Joe Biden's decline, which we all saw 5 years ago.
When he was campaigning from a
And,
basement.
and now they're all of a sudden surprised. Oh,
Yeah.
Biden couldn't debate.
Here's-
Trump kicked Biden's ass in the debate
Dude,
4 years ago.
slammed him. Here's my difficulty in this. It was during the first year really, and culminated in the second year of Nixon, and I believe 100% Nixon was set up.
Agreed.
His fatal flaw was trying to cover up the setup instead of
Yes,
just
sir.
walking out there and saying, "I was set up. Buck stops with me, but I was not behind the break-in." Right? But they got rid of Spiro Agnew. They brought in Ford as it was pushed in, and within just a few months of Ford being appointed as being voted on in Congress and being put in as the vice president, Nixon is forced to resign.
And Ford becomes president.
Ford becomes president, and you just cited Ford
And predicts.
that. And so my difficulty right now, and I'm looking at all of these theories and all these ideas, is that we don't have the time frame. You imagine this right now. Biden just resigned, supposedly.
4 months.
Biden just resigned, supposedly. If they 25th Amendment him, or we find out that he's actually passed away, okay? You got less than 4 months to the election. Kamal has to pick a VP, or one is picked for her because she's, otherwise occupied.
She's a puppet.
She's a puppet. Say that's worst case scenario. That's Hillary Clinton. That's worst case scenario, because the minute that Hillary Clinton is declared to be the VP for Kamala Harris
She's got a
is
tag.
dead. She's dead.
Mhm.
She's got a toe tag already waiting for her at the morgue. Okay. That's worst case scenario. But you only have 4 months to do this. How and what's the chaos that erupts with the continuity of government? I mean, the reality is,
Technically, a special election could be called. Like they can decide. I don't know who it would be, but Congress, I guess, could be the ones that call it, or the Supreme Court, one of the two. Although I think the Supreme Court's in trouble right now. So
well, if they take out
Thomas and
if they take out, well, I was going to say, if they take out Kamala after they've already taken out Biden, then the Speaker of the House would assume the role.
then that's Johnson.
And I don't know that we've ever had, I'd have to look up the history of it. Have we actually ever had a time in American history where the Speaker actually became president, even though it's
don't think so.
constitutional?
I
We've
don't
never
think
had a
so.
time. We've always had time to appoint, or Congress has had time to vote upon and appoint a vice president. I believe it was William Henry Harris, right? Tippecanoe and Tyler too, right? He was in office for 34 days, something like that, and then passed away, and the VP took over, and then they voted on a new VP to come in.
Yeah.
that, we understand that we've always had time. I'm looking at the time frames right
We don't
now.
have time.
We don't have time. And imagine Hillary in for the last 2 months. Imagine Kamala in for the next 4 months. It's chaos. According to reports that I'm seeing all over across the board, that multiple things have already been delegated to cabinet offices and to agencies from Biden, quote unquote, from Biden. This is a dangerous time for our country.
Right now.
We don't.
We don't have.
We have a de facto deep state
Well, we
government.
haven't in a long time. I mean, we've had the
Puts us in a
image.
constitutional crisis right now. To
We
be
have
honest.
Well, we've been in a constitutional
Yeah.
crisis for quite some time.
Yeah.
The Democrats have forced us into a constitutional
You
crisis.
say that, but it's both sides, honey. It's both
So-
sides. The minute you start admitting that it's both sides working together against the people,
Yeah.
is the minute you'll see the big picture.
But not everybody on both. All the Democrats are working against
Not
the people.
all. There
All
are
of them.
some good
Every-
Democrats.
there is
no,
not.
there
is
are.
not.
Oh
There
my
isn't
God,
a single
there
good
are.
Democrat
Okay.
anywhere in the country. I'm talking about
Well,
elected
all right.
people.
Okay. But
They're
Tulsi Gabbard,
all
Tulsi
the
Gabbard
enemy
had,
of the people.
the
She's
Tulsi-
not a Democrat.
but she was.
She
and
was.
while she was, she had
Yeah.
good intentions and
They
a good,
are.
Didn't
They're-
Joe Manchin walk too?
yeah, multiple people have walked away because they actually held liberal ideals and then saw the corruption and walked away. There's
Right.
a small percentage, Larry, that you have to admit. There's a very small percentage of some Democrat people.
But they're not Democrats. The good ones left. Zell Miller.
And
for
there
example.
are some Republicans that are as slimy Marxist Bolshevik as you could possibly get.
Yeah,
They
the
just don't
rhinos,
show-
of course.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney, for example.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
What's the
Well,
dude
I
from
think what
North
Kelly's
Dakotas?
alluding to is the duality, the two-party system that we should never have, that our founding fathers never
That we
wanted
were
us to.
told would be our demise.
Yeah,
We
and
were
and the
told.
two-party system, we need to have an open forum, and it's become a duality of if then, or these are only two choices. And when you ever have a system that there's only two choices, corruption abounds because both sides are going to be controlled by the money. So I understand both points you're both making. Let's do this. Let's do some final thoughts. Mr. Coffee, he's dude, he hasn't been getting a lot of sleep. Pray for a lot of us. I've been struggling with sleep issues too.
Same.
I think it's a combination of the things going on. If anybody out there is struggling with sleep issues, we're all in this with you and we're all praying. And my son was gracious enough to pick me up some gummies to help me fall asleep. I took a half of one the first time, and 2 hours later I still wasn't asleep, so I took the other half.
And you slept for 2 days.
And I slept quite a while.
Yeah.
But I think I told you guys on the show, the angry face, the
Yeah.
squeezy face where the ears pop out and the
Yep,
eyes pop out.
Yep.
I saw that dude riding roller coasters in my mind before I was falling asleep. As I'm
Wow.
falling
Terrible.
asleep, every
Kinda
time I
scary.
closed my eyes, I saw that dude on a roller coaster, like when the roller coaster hit the crest and then the roller coaster's doing this and the hands go up like that, the whole face just went beep like this and went stretched. And I was like, all right, what the hell
That's
is going
messed
on?
up.
And so I only took one gummy since then and fell right asleep. I just fell right asleep. So I didn't have the same experience, but I'm actually scared to take another one. And so the other morning, the other night, I went to bed at like 10 o'clock and could not fall asleep until 8 in the morning. And I'm doing my normal things. I'm reading on my phone or I'm watching something, that I'm not engaged in, hoping to fall asleep during whatever I'm watching, which is my normal activities. And I literally didn't get to sleep until 8 in the morning and had to turn my alarm off, silence my phone because I knew it was going to go off, and woke up at about 11 after that. Now, I had a great day Monday, went to work, played hockey, did all my stuff. But I'll tell you what, I believe between the frequencies and the upheaval in our society, as well as I know there are times that I get woken up in the middle of the night, not to annoy me or to break my sleep patterns, but so that I can pray. And I have to be obedient to do that and lift up different people. And I know my vets as well as my non-vets all struggle with a lot of those dynamics. So if you're dealing with that, pray for somebody else that's struggling with the same thing, because that may be the reason you get woke up. I'm not saying it absolutely is, but at least if you help somebody else, it might help you. Mr. Coffee, final thoughts.
All right, I guess got a vote, and this one, Queen has to go down and see her mom, so she is looking at having to do absentee voting. So she's going to vote. She's going to be out of town. We usually go in person.
Yeah.
Got to vote. So we looked up today where she can go vote early type thing. So vote. Do your own homework.
Do your voting.
Don't expect me to tell you who
Well,
to vote for.
we cited this on Sunday, talking about this with Wes sitting here. I heard an awesome thing from Wes or from Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell is
got them all.
He's suggesting this, and I don't know how much time is left. His big suggestion, and I love it, is request your absentee ballot. Leave it and receive it in the mail. Leave it unsealed. And when you go in to vote on voting day in person, unlike Deb has to do, leave it unsealed, walk in there, and if there's any discrepancy where somebody else has voted in your name, you whip out that unsealed mail-in ballot and you go, no, I did not vote. Here is my mail-in ballot, sealed. And they would have to, at that moment, it's literally, that becomes a call the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
You call the sheriff at that moment and call, it's voter fraud. So that is a huge tactic, and I hadn't heard that until this past week. Pass that over, Patrick, and give me your final thoughts, sir.
I'll have to take that up at the next election integrity meeting because it is very interesting.
Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah.
My final thought, you guys always talk about voting. I always talk about getting involved. I have to take it a step further because I got to say that there's something that is pissing me off to no end. And that is, and I'll say beyond livid, when people like folks at this table who are involved in a huge way are doing battle and trying to do what's right for the American people. And good people are sitting on the sidelines and watching us fight, and they won't get engaged. That pisses me right off. It does. I've seen it time and time again, and I've frickin' had it. I'm at a point where I don't even want to get involved anymore because I see too many people just sit there and watch me fight, and they don't step up. Step up. Get involved. Get frickin' involved. I'm tired of watching people watch me do the battle, and they won't even say a damn word. Get involved. I'm tired of it. That's my final thought.
All right.
Fire spirit. Woo.
Yeah. And then further, I'll add to that further before we go to Kelly. Final thoughts. Not only not getting involved while other people are working, but then having the hubris to be critical of how other people are being involved and what they're doing. Nobody's perfect. Absolutely nobody's perfect. Don't criticize those people that are trying to do good. Take time to find out their heart. You know? Figure out where they're at. Kelly?
I don't know how to follow that. I agree.
Very spicy.
Get involved. I am officially right at this moment, very loudly, because I tried to do it last week and I didn't. I am running for Brighton School Board to be a trustee on the school board.
You were a little church mousy on it last week.
I'll be making my official announcement at the school board meeting. I'm hoping August 6th when I get back. I believe that's the day of the meeting. I got to look on the website to find it. But I will have some revelations when I go to speak for my little 3 minutes of announcing why I'm running for candidacy. And either tune into the BAS school board meeting that night or come watch.
Right.
Because I'd love the support. And on top of that, I tried to do it via petition. And I turned in, I believe, 6 sheets of petitions.
Okay.
And they only validated 18 of my signatures.
What?
So therefore, I did it by payment, which is what I really did not want to have to do, but I had no time.
And it costs a chunk of change.
And it costs money to incorporate myself to be a representative for the people. So there's that. So I am running for Brighton School Board. Yay!
All right.
Well,
That's my official announcement.
I am not currently in Brighton, but Kelly has my full backing and endorsement.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I was gonna hit you up to see if I could hold an event.
Well, everybody in Brighton that's watching the show live tonight or watching the show,
Then you can hold it in.
Okay.
Down the road,
You don't need my permission.
you need to have this gal on the school board because we know our schools are jacked up. They're under a different system, but if we can fight within the system, you fight within the system until the system collapses, and then you adjust.
Mm-hmm.
She's
I would
willing
really
to fight
like
within the system.
to see our community schools become community schools again.
Community schools,
Yeah.
absolutely,
I would
100%.
really like to see them, and I'd like to see our teachers
Yeah.
given better support and more support than what they're currently given, because I feel like these generations of kids we're bringing up are very difficult to deal with on a daily basis. And when you have overhead telling you what you have to do and the line you have to toe, and you're kind of trying to balance this act, it's impossible. I listen
Absolutely.
to teachers all the time that this is a rough, I wouldn't want to be a teacher right now. I wouldn't.
It's very rough.
It's very tough on them, and I feel terrible for them, and I feel terrible for the students. So
Harry Patrick, I'm dying.
yeah, don't fall asleep,
No,
Mr.
my
Coffee.
eyes are, he just yawned and my
All right.
eyes are.
Go.
Larry, go.
Okay, well, here's my final thoughts.
Oh.
If you don't vote for Kelli Uphaus, you are
in Brighton School
Be
District
nice.
in the
Be
Brighton.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be nice,
Okay,
Larry.
I'm going to change the thought.
Yeah, you've already got one police report.
It would you would be
You
the
ain't glad
smartest
you don't
person
vote
in
for
Brighton
Kelli.
to vote for Kelli Uphaus.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
There. Okay.
See, that's the positive dynamic.
Yeah, there you go. Now moving forward.
Yeah.
And my final thought is now is the time to be engaged. I believe
I'm all right.
our friend over here made a very passionate call for people to get involved.
Okay.
All right. And that means get involved across the board. Know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because in here in Livingston County, don't wait until the day before the election to
Figure
call
out who you're
somebody
voting for.
like me and say, Larry, who do I vote for? Because my job is not to tell you who to vote for, right? I don't want to tell you who to vote for, but
You want to tell them?
get involved. Find out who
Yeah.
to vote for. All the information is there. It's for everybody. In Hartland, we have 3 wonderful people running. For the school board. Angela Yarber, she's a school teacher. She's just absolutely wonderful.
Very sweet lady.
Very nice lady. Yeah.
Yep.
And then you have, I believe it's Jeff Scott.
Jeff Scott.
I
Yep.
have not
Scott.
met him yet.
He's an incredible young man.
Yep.
Lives down the road from me. Very hard worker and would make an awesome school board member. Then you have Tiffany Baird also, right? Also a wonderful young lady. These 3 people, we need to elect them across the board. On the other side of the aisle, you have the ticket supported by Democrats, extremists who want to put boys in girls' bathrooms, locker rooms, and showers, boys in girls' sports, push things like CRT, DEI, and SEL, right?
Yep.
And that is led with the name Cindy Shaw. And there's a Tucker and a Campbell on that ticket as well. So you've got to know, do not vote for the people with Cindy Shaw because birds of a feather flock together.
They also shit in the same place and make a
Yes.
mess.
That,
I'm just saying, when
that
birds
too.
get on a,
And on the
when they flock
commissioners-
together, they shit out.
On the commissioner's side of it, you have 3 rhinos that are running against our sitting commissioners.
Yeah.
And this is a vendetta. They're not running because they want to better the community. They're not running because they have great ideas. They are running for vengeance. Steve Williams got canned because he voted to allocate money from the parks to go for DEI programs. So he got canned. And this is you've got one lady is his wife, one is his daughter, and another lady is their friend. So you have the 2 Williams ladies. Megan William would be the daughter. Heather Williams would be the wife, and you got this Tara Black Pearson, who's the one that's going around trashing veterans, lying about and trashing a guy that has just been named Legionnaire of the Year by the American Legion. So, I mean, these
got to do your research.
Yeah, these people are liars. They have nothing to offer but hate and lies, and their campaigns are not about making Livingston County better, keeping Livingston County conservative. It's all about vengeance.
Absolutely. Thank you, Larry.
Beware, people.
Beware. Be researched. Be this. My final thoughts. Joni Jojo, send me information on this person that just filed for House School Board, and we will act accordingly. My final thoughts on this tonight is stepping up a rant. Stepping up and stepping down. It's a stepping rant. Who's stepping up? Who's stepping down? There are two types of people out there that want to be in charge. Those who humbly believe that they can be a asset to the community, who believe that they can help out people, and the other person that seeks power as somebody who wants to control other people. There are only two dynamics. I don't get all black and white on a lot of things, but I'm gonna get black and white on this. People that are stepping up. The two types of people that step up to lead. One has a passion for people and wants to help them, and the other one wants to control everybody, or as many people as they can. Do your research and find out if this person is trying to control everything and make themselves a little king over you, or whether they want to liberate you and free your soul. One of the things that I have a few issues with Donald Trump, with warp speed and a few other things like that, and him picking the wrong people to be in his cabinet. But overall, he continually comes back to wanting to free our nation to be as prosperous and healthy and good as it possibly can. And he is stuck with that. He keeps coming back to that. His record has proven it. Kamala Harris comes from slave owners. That's not her direct fault that her grandparents were slave owners in Jamaica. But then when you look what she did as the DA in San Francisco, she literally used them as slaves of the government by extending their sentences beyond any reasonable idea of that for minor drug offenses so that she could control them. We have demonic people trying to control us, and we've got to be aware. Thank you guys for tuning in so much. I appreciate it. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate it. Hit that Rumble thumbs up. Go over to the locals page, timb@locals.com, and become our subscribers. I want to bump that community up and get us to where we've got an extended time of the show over there, because it's allocated on subscribers, and that's just the way that thing works. We will catch you guys. I don't know what Larry has planned for this Sunday as far as guests. We'll figure that out. But either way, we'll catch you guys next time on This Is My Brain.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you all later.
See you later, alligator.
I didn't get.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude,
that's an egg.
seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with hot cakes?
A sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize.
Never apologize and never explain.